for the foreseeable future, Will Chambers, Fred Davis, for your Saturday mornings.
How about it?
Good morning, brother.
What's going on,
Did they
dude?
go, this is what, like the AARP weekend edition for the fan?
White Guy Radio.
There we go.
White Guy
that might be
Radio.
Right at, I mean,
WGR.
I knew, I had a feeling out of the gate we were going to get maybe
It's just
the narrative of the show, the name of the show.
It's like 8 Mile, man. Let's just go ahead and
Let's run it.
Tell everybody all the stuff that we're going to hear that you could use against us. Let's just go ahead and throw it out there. Look, we're going to talk about retirement accounts. We're going to talk about going to church on Sundays, golf, baseball, all the probably a lot of grunge music we'll get into.
Oh my!
Why the Beastie Boys are the greatest rap group of all time. I mean, these are the things we're going to get into. White Guy Radio for the next 4 hours. So stand by.
Jacob, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and guess. Well, first, let's get this out of the way before we get into the Max Crosby thing, because first thing I said to Jacob when I came in here today, I was like, I think we kind of dodged a bullet there. I don't know if Cowboys fans feel the same way, but we got two middle-aged white guys, and one of which hitting the mark tomorrow
Officially.
As Fred Davis hits the old 4-5.
Coming back like Jordan. Wearing the 4-5.
Oh, wait, you're re-hitting the Jordan year, aren't you?
Damn right I am.
I'm hitting my Jordan year this year too. Look at us. Look at us.
23 and 45.
Hey now.
Look at us. Huh? I'm geeked, bro. I am excited.
What a year it's gonna be.
Dude, I'll tell you what. It's about to be the year of Fred and Jake. Let's do it.
Dude, yesterday, so when and all of you out there know of men, when you get to a certain age, and I try to say this because I'm working with people right now, right? I'm in, bartending over at the Gibson Dallas.
Yeah.
And, for the entirety of the staff, they're all 20s and 30s.
Yeah, so it's like working with producers and Blake every
Totally.
night.
And so they're all like, when we say like getting armed, like you have no idea like how stuff really changes at 40 in your body. It just, that is the line of demarcation of when the stuff just really starts not breaking down, just not working in the same manner.
See, I don't want to be that guy right now, but I'm going to be that guy for just a split second. All right? Your boy's firing on all cylinders. I want to make that very clear right now.
No.
Okay?
Yeah, I know. I kind of teed that part of it up. That's not really what I was talking about, but fair enough.
But physically, though, I mean, I feel as good. I mean, I work out 5 to 6 times a week. This much I do know, okay? And I don't know if you have as destructive habits as I do. It'll be 10 years in May that I have not touched alcohol. All right? So that's number one.
Where's that bell?
But number two.
Where's that bell?
But number two, I haven't smoked, and this is the truth. This is the God's truth, and obviously not drinking. And look, our generation, and it's funny because we can juxtapose it with our guy, new guy Jake here. Where clearly our generation drinking was a thing,
yeah,
and still is to some degree.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's quite as prolific as it used to be back in our day, but that being said, your generation just doesn't drink, right? You guys are all.
Not like binge drinking, really. Like we don't really do that. I'll get hammered from night to night. I had the best drunk of my life last weekend.
I mean, you're kind of a throwback in that.
I am,
sense.
yeah.
You're a throwback.
Yeah.
Your generation's more scrolling social media and crying about all the problems that you guys don't have.
That's what I was drinking too. I bet you can't guess.
I'll tell you what. If you were drinking a 40, that will really bring things.
There were two sides for either a 40. You were 40. Edward 40 hands. Or
what was
you were one of like the Kuiper guys.
What was your go-to 40?
There was a short time where I went to Little King's Cream Ale for a hot second, but I mean, we would get, depending on what age we're talking about, because younger
early 20s,
like Beast.
Early 20s. Let's go. This guy's age, early 20s.
Honestly. We used to break down some OE every now and again.
Gotta go with OE. I mean, I was a Colt 4-5 guy.
The only time I've ever done 40 hands was Colt 45.
Okay, I'm a Colt 4-5. If you're really trying to get crunk, if you're really trying to take it to the next level, then you go with the double malt. All right, but
yeah.
Colt 4.5 was always the.
I can't even imagine drinking
go-to.
a 40 right now. It would be so warm by the end of it, it'd be ridiculous. I couldn't even.
Just think about it, a 40 ounce. A 40. I mean, that's we were a proper country back then. Okay, let's be real. We when you could go
dude,
out
that
and
is
get 40
that's
ounces.
the exact reason why it's so different. Like, what did we? There was nothing else to do. We played athletics, or we drank, or a lot of both.
Well, I mean,
because that was it. There's so many more things to do now to occupy your time. Where the only way we ever got together was, going to some field and trying to get somebody that could get a keg.
Man, I'll tell you what, it was a simpler time, boys.
I was dead man walking yesterday because I ran out of my Adderall prescription, and when that's really where I was going with it. I really led it to go down the road of things aren't working well. It's not necessarily that. Yeah. It's the whole point of the meds that you need to function properly outside of the sexual element.
How long have you been taking ADD meds? Not to get too personal, but I will.
Pretty much my whole adult life.
Really?
Well, do they have you on the extended release stuff, or just the stuff that hits y'all at once?
Well, I took Vyvanse. But that was when I was, steadily
employed. How do you feel when you don't take it? How do you feel when you don't take it?
That's where I'm going. I felt like, my brain was porridge. I couldn't think. I had to try to keep my mind busy so I could keep going. And everybody's, they're like, everybody's energy drinks now. Like, we grew up on Red Bull.
Yeah.
Red Bull was the only one. Now, I've been introduced, I've developed a little sweet tooth for the old C4s. That thing, oh my God. Like a whole I was on the second C4. I was like, I have enough caffeine going through my system right now to kill a small animal, and it's still not doing anything.
Interesting. Look, we've talked ad nauseum about my caffeine intake. I'm in the 50 to 60 ounce range of coffee a day. So, but look, I've been raw dogging life my whole. I haven't taken Adderall. I started taking Adderall in the Navy. I took it for about a year and a half, 2 years, and then when I was in college, I realized that super skinny guys don't get laid. And so I decided that it was time to retire from the Adderall.
Is that a side effect of Adderall? Because I was on it for 4 years.
It curbs your eating.
Oh, bro.
I was like, dude, maybe $135 going into freshman year of college.
Dude, I'm right there with you. I was 170.
You're like a javelin.
I was 175 when I started taking Adderall.
That's what I am now.
Okay. I was, 175?
Yeah.
Okay, no. Look. That's what I'm saying. I was 175, and then I started taking Adderall, and then I dipped down to, I think I was 145. I was smoking a pack of Newports a day. All right, damn near, and I was dipping. It was a wild time to be alive. All right, and then you get to college, and you realize, okay, women aren't banging white Ethiopian looking dudes.
No,
they're just not. You can have all the game in the world; it doesn't matter. Like you're just not attractive to the opposite sex. So, 2004, your boy said, "Okay, enough is enough," and I've been raw dogging life ever since.
I can't. Finally got one today because I was like, I am not going to do
what would you do? Go grab somebody at the
4-hour show.
Desk or what?
No,
he said I got
prescription filled. So there's no way I'm going to do 4 hours here, then go work later. I'm like that is not happening.
Okay,
that's not happening. I had to get locked in. Had to get geared up for show number 1 of White Boy Radio.
You should have said something. I got some Strattera at the house. I took one of them. I was like, not Strattera. What's the one that's not a stimulant?
Yeah, no, Strattera is one of them. So there's two sides of the function of, you have one side that is like the Ritalin family, the other side, which is like the amphetamine, like Adderall, Vyvanse on that side. That is the side that I operate well on. Last year, I tried to go over, to see because they've got, all kinds of new treatments and there's new medications, but they're on the Ritalin side. I didn't sleep that night. Okay. I was up for like 36 hours.
Yeah.
And that I'm like, I can't go to that side. I thought it was going to go into, cardiac arrest. My heart rate was at record level. record breaking. Could not
Look at
do
you now,
it.
though. Look at you now.
Feeling good.
Huh?
Feeling frisky on a
Excited.
Saturday morning. Let's
Did
do
you ever
this
try
thing.
ashwagandha? Have you ever tried that? It's like a supplement.
No.
Namdi Oshawa, what?
Do you have any?
Ashwagandha.
Quarterback, for
I don't
God's
want
sake,
me,
you
no.
creep.
Yeah, seriously.
It's like a brain fog.
Where is he in the mock draft?
Third round. He's a sleeper pick, but you should try it. Ashwagandha. Give it a shot.
Ashwagandha. Is it natural?
Yeah. It's just it's
You
a
buy it like just a vitamin shop?
yeah.
Really? And it works?
Yeah. I took
Okay.
it for whenever I first started going to the gym. I was taking it every day for a year.
What's it do?
It's weird. It's just you feel like you're in a better mood. You feel like I noticed my motivation going to the gym was way higher when I was on it. I felt like my motivation to do anything was just like clear minded. Everything.
He said when you were on it. So why are you not on it?
I moved home and stopped taking it. I didn't need to get back on it though. I had my best year of school when I was on it. So
Really?
Yeah.
Did you notice any side effects?
no, it's just a regular supplement. It's nothing crazy.
Send me a link.
I will.
Send me a link.
I will.
You've piqued my interest.
I will. Yeah.
You've piqued my
Do
interest.
some research, man. Rogan talks about it all the time. It's great.
I mean, if it's good enough for
JoJo?
little
Yeah.
old degenerate Jake, it's good enough for your boy Freddie
There you
D.
go.
Okay?
There you go.
All right.
It is the year of Fred and Jake, so here we go.
Damn right. Hey, let's go, bro. Let's go. Okay, we're doing the damn thing.
We got a lot. NFL trades. The biggest one last night. The shoe to drop that we were waiting for this
Yeah,
entire
man.
offseason happened around 8 o'clock local time, where Max Crosby goes to
Yeah,
the
it did.
Baltimore Ravens. It seemed like Baltimore was not in the discussion at all. Really, I mean, it was the Cowboys, it was the Bears.
And it was the Eagles. Those are the three teams
Eagles
you kept
kind of
hearing about.
slipped in like the last week, like, oh, watch out, Howie
Yeah.
Roseman, right? How do we feel about it? The fact that it is all said and done, and the Cowboys, and we'll hear from Jeremy Fowler talking about how they were really devastated by the fact they didn't get him, but was just not willing to do or to go where Baltimore did for the 2 first. And I do as I tend to. And I've been talking about this the last few weeks on how, well, the last couple years, I'm like, okay, we know the running back where it was undervalued, and then all of a sudden we're kind of seeing the value of the running back come back into play a little bit and how important they can be. And I've been saying that, well, the other position on an NFL team that I think is insanely underrated is the middle of your defense. So you call it, just a off-the-ball linebacker. I think that edge rusher is, I'm not saying it's not important, and I'm not saying that they don't make great impact. It is the most overvalued position on an NFL team, hands down. Max Crosby could have made a big, big impact on the Cowboys. I'm not saying that he wouldn't have.
Yeah.
But when you look at the best edge rushers in the game, they're not playing in the Super Bowl.
I don't necessarily disagree with you. And me and Blake got into it last night because I said, I don't know that Max Crosby is the end-all, be-all like everybody makes him out to be. I mean, again, he's a great defensive end. He's a great pass rusher. I get all that. But, look, T.J. Watt's been on that Pittsburgh Steelers team for a long time. I mean, I'm not seeing them knock down doors because, to your point,
Myles Garrett had the best year ever for an edge rusher, and the Browns went 5-12.
now, let's not bury the lead. Let's not be disingenuous and insult your guys' intelligence. We understand that, and a lot of people, were coming at me last night. Well, Fred, they can't control the quarterback play. Well, ding,
That's
ding,
right.
ding, ding.
That's right.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Okay? Is that, yes, they're important, but hey, is it worth spending $47 million on a Micah Parsons if, our boy Love can't complete passes? Is a complete, dumpster fire in the second half. Okay, so, I agree with you. It's when you look at pass rushers, yes, stats and sacks are sexy and all that good stuff, but I don't want to belittle the point that yes, it's trivial to have a good D end. Yes, you need good ends, right? But it doesn't matter, no matter how great they are. I mean, I watched, and I use this example time and time again. I was in Houston for prime J.J. Watt.
And they never did anything.
Okay.
They never did anything.
They got to the playoffs once, maybe twice with him, and they
twice.
won a game with
3 years. They won the Defensive Player of the Year.
Right.
They lost in the wild card 1 year, missed the playoffs, and then lost in the divisional round.
And then they, and I think it was TJ Yates that won their first game, playoff game with him at quarterback and against Cincinnati. But so to your point, and what we're trying to say here is, for 2 first-round picks for a team that defensively, and I'm sure we'll get into this. I mean, your linebacking core is a disaster right now.
Yeah, which is way more important to me.
You know what I'm saying?
Important.
Like, I feel like you can plug the holes that you need to with this defense. With the free agents that are out there. I don't mind going out and getting Jalen Phillips. Now, Trey Hendrickson, I'd be willing to look at that. I read something this morning. I can't think of who it was that reported this. I think it was James Palmer, said he doubts that they're going to look seriously at Trey Hendrickson. Who knows? We'll see. I'm not as beat up, to your point, as other people are about the losing out on Max Crosby. You just got too much out there. Now, I would ask you less about Max Crosby. Are you still convinced, though, that this front office is going to continue to be aggressive and go fill the holes that you need to?
I mean, look, all indications point towards yes. Here's the problem that I have with the Cowboys and what they seem to do is they don't make very good business decisions.
Yeah.
When it comes to personnel. And they overpay in spots. Look, you've got Dak Prescott. How often do you usually see a turnover at highest paid player, which is always highest paid quarterback, right? That usually turns over, every other year or so. Mm-hmm. I mean, Dak Prescott's been the highest paid quarterback going on years. Now you're paying a top
3
wide receiver. Now, 2 top receivers, depending on how it shakes out, with George Pickens, and you didn't need to pay as much for them. I think that they're going to be aggressive, but this was, in my opinion, this was the right move to be like, we really want him. Yeah, okay, a first this year and a second, or however, it was going to shake out, or whatever they were offering to the Raiders. I look at all the past 10 Super Bowl winning teams: Seattle, Philadelphia, Kansas City twice, the Rams, the Bucks, the Chiefs, Patriots, Eagles, Patriots. Those are your last 10 Super Bowl winners. How many of them had an edge star? None of them.
I was going to say, actually, I mean, D-tackle is really the position that jumps
different.
to mind. Yeah.
And that's exactly where I'm going with the middle of the defense with, like, your off-the-ball linebacker, but I think, equally there with defensive tackle. Now, I honestly like what the Cowboys were looking at. I mean, because it sounds like Osa was going to be a part of the deal if they were able to make it with the Raiders because of the contracts they have at defensive tackle right now. But, yeah, you're right. D-tackle.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald, Chris Jones. It was those guys were the dominant defensive players.
Well, I'll tell you what, and look, you've got the formula is kind of, you need that stud at D-tackle, and then you need a defensive end that's maybe not a Micah, a TJ Watt, or a Max Crosby, but maybe something that's like a Frank Clark or a Tank Lawrence.
Right.
Not flashy, not crazy numbers, but you know what? They can get to the quarterback and put enough pressure on when you need them to, or make a key sack in a big moment.
Pass rush is insanely important for a defense. But those teams that I just all mentioned, they do it as a team.
Yeah.
It's not just one player. And I know everybody, this is one thing that kind of, when I was just looking at Cowboys Twitter last night, was, oh, you got rid of Micah and the defense fell apart. Not really. It wasn't just getting rid of Micah.
Yeah.
You didn't have Overshown for the year. You got rid of Jordan Lewis. You didn't have Tank Lawrence anymore. There are a number of players that were lost on the defense from the previous season.
Well, Bland was a shell of himself. Malik Hooker missed half the year. Donovan Wilson just
Talk about shell of himself.
You know, so there was a look that there, and your boy Eberflus, your doppelganger, gets the job over in San Francisco. I mean, look,
I have better teeth.
did he have bad grill?
Yeah, I mean, little diastema.
I never noticed
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Were you aware of that? I mean, by the way, I'm in a Chicago Bears sandwich, for those of you wondering. Do with that information as you will, but I've got the little young our young Bears fan here. We've got our old elder statesman Bears fan here. I did not. Did you know that your boy had a jacked up grill?
I did not.
Eberflus?
I had no idea.
I mean,
it's not necessarily
your attention to detail, but just a little slight opening in there.
He had to grow a whole beard just to cover all of his other insecurities. So I mean, we thought he was going to be good after he grew a beard, and he wasn't. So
yeah, that was a whole weird deal.
Weird
like on Hard Knocks, that the Eberflus glow up.
Well, I was going to say, didn't they do a piece on him getting his hair cut or something like that, and then he needed to get look different?
I found that to be really awkward.
Doesn't that tell you kind of where you're going with as a coach when we're doing a piece on what you look like?
Yeah, not good. Not good. Boy, that played out well.
Well, I mean, look, he's getting paid you figure he's getting paid what, probably $8 million by the Cowboys to go away, and then whatever is being offset by the 49ers.
Yeah.
It's not a bad gig.
All right.
It's not a bad gig. And look, say what you want about the Cowboys coaching staff. I mean, one thing we know about Kyle Shanahan, old boy can coach him up. That'll be an interesting team next year, just kind of off the cuff real quick. I mean, I don't know about Raheem Morris as a D coordinator. His D's have not, his defenses as a D coordinator have not been great.
San Francisco's a tricky one.
They are a tricky one.
And how much of that defense was made by what Robert Saleh was doing with basically a MASH unit? And with him going over to Tennessee, how much that changes for them. It's still an aging group. I mean, I don't know. They got a lot of holes to fill, and I didn't really think that they did a great job. I thought they did a great job last year in the offseason with the changes they made, with the coaches there. I don't know necessarily what they're doing there. All right, let's take a quick break. Let's come back. We've got a ton to get to as far as a lot of college basketball. Not exactly huge matchups today, but we're getting ready for conference championships. We're going to get into a little baseball, the rest of the NFL trades, but what Jeremy Fowler had to say about the Cowboys and where they were in the Max Crosby deal next here on The Fan.
When your friends say, "Hey, did you hear?" you can proudly say, "I heard it on The Fan." Keeping you sports informed with some quality laughs along the way. Turn it on and leave it on. 105.3 The Fan, the Odyssey app, iHeartRadio app, and TuneIn app.
Follow here, Tolos, and like you, my home has become my happy place. But I started noticing scuffs, faded colors, and peeling paint that needed attention, and that's when I reached out to CertaPro Painters and CertaPro.com. You can ask about their spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th. And here's the deal. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. So whether inside or out, you can protect your home with quality paint and a worry-free process. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, CertaPro.com.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-809-5833. 800-809-5833. 800-809-5833.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The BMF Championship, truly the stuff of legends. To let the world know who's the baddest mother.
That's a real warrior. That's a BMF.
Tonight on Paramount Plus.
Here we go.
Two legends.
Two of the most exciting men to ever fight will meet again.
I'm right here. Let's go.
One legacy.
The famed BMF belt is on the line. Legends never die.
Max Holloway, Charles Oliveira.
Welcome to the history books.
for the BMF title tonight at 9 on Paramount Plus.
Before Orchard, selling your home meant one thing: waiting for it to sell, waiting to move forward. But with Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, you can buy your new home first and sell the old one later on your timeline. No showings, no double moves. And your local Orchard agent handles smart repairs to attract stronger offers, so your home sells fast. Don't get stuck waiting. Buy before you sell and get top dollar with Orchard. Get a free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
We were pretty wasted. My friends kept telling me, Erica, don't drive. I was like, no, I want to go home. Ended up blacking out, and my car had the whole front end damaged. The cops ended up coming. They took me to jail from there. I was very upset at myself. I had to pay court fees, probation, lawyer fees, definitely over about 10 grand. There were some jobs that I had tried to get, and I couldn't because I had that on my record. My name's Erica. I got a DWI, and I'm still dealing with the consequences.
Sponsored by TxDOT.
Texans enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And you can clip and save more with digital coupons in the Kroger app. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's always easy to get Texas-sized savings. Kroger, Texas proud since 1955. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Save on 12-pack cans of Coca-Cola or 6-packs of Dr. Pepper or Pure Leaf Tea. Select varieties or buy 3, get 3 free with your card. Limit 12. Kroger, Texas proud since 1955.
Severe weather is in our forecast. This is KRLD Chief Meteorologist Dan Brunoff. I'm tracking a system that could bring thunderstorms, hail, and a slight chance for tornadoes. For frequent updates, listen to DFW's #1 station for severe weather coverage, News Radio 1080 KRLD.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I opened a restaurant and needed everything. Menus, signage, catering brochures.
Everything and then some.
I went to Staples. They printed it all and even suggested takeout menus.
One money pit with a side of fries.
But now at Staples, you get up to $125 off custom print orders.
$125 off. Now you're cooking. Brand your business in a big way at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Spring deals are popping up early at Lowe's. Right now, get 4 bags of Stay Green 2 cubic foot mulch for just $10. Plus, save $20 on an Ego 56-volt string trimmer, now just $199. Spring starts better when you save early. Don't miss out. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 3/18. Mulch offer excludes Hawaii. Selection varies by location. While supplies last.
Best Buy Windows and Siding.
Thanks, Dax. Maybe leave the singing to the pros.
Hey, I can't help it. I love these windows.
Well, it's easy to sing about savings. Get 10 double-pane single-hung windows for just $59.50.
And 0 down and 0% financing with approved credit.
Exactly.
So call Best Buy Windows and Siding today at 469 Windows. That's Best Buy Windows and Siding.
Close enough, buddy.
Best Buy Windows and Siding.
Hey, it's Tony at East Dallas Diesel. Around here, trucks are a way of life. Lifted, leveled, wheels, tires, blacked out trim. If you can dream it, chances are I've got it. We carry everything. Ford, Chevy, GMC, Ram, and Toyota, all in one place. With nearly 30 years in the game, every truck is handpicked and inspected by me personally. At East Dallas Diesel, you'll find the highest quality options at every price point. With our flexible financing options, driving off in your dream truck has never been easier. Come see us at our showroom or browse the latest inventory at eastdallasdiesel.com. East Dallas Diesel, where custom comes standard.
And it's back to 105.3 The Fan. This segment's brought to you by the personal injury lawyers Frankel & Frankel. If you've been injured in a car or truck wreck, call Frankel first, 214 or 817-333-3333. With Frankel & Frankel, there is never an out-of-pocket cost. They only get paid when you win. Frankel & Frankel, the go-to car and truck wreck attorneys in Dallas.
All right. Welcome back in. It is White Guy Radio right here on 105 through the
I love
Fan.
how you got to it. I mean, just immediately started out the show with a nickname of sorts.
Would you expect any less?
No.
Would you expect any less? I mean, come on now. Here we go. It's Fred Davis, Will Chambers, and little white guy in the house, Jacob Ray. Little white guy in training. Little white guy in training.
Oh,
I want to make one thing clear, though.
Now.
I want to make one thing clear, though. We love everybody here on White Guy Radio. I want to make that abundantly clear. Don't get it twisted out there. I don't know. Look, I know a year ago or 2 years ago, white guys were not popular. Okay, and in some cases we're still not. In some cases, we're still not. But I want to make one thing clear.
It's a struggle.
Will Chambers and I grew up in the 90s when everybody loved everybody. All right. Blacks, whites, Puerto Ricans, Hispanics, you name it. We loved all of each other. Asians, everybody loved everybody. And that's what we did. We watched UMTV Raps. We watched, what was that show with Matt Pinfield on MTV? The metal show.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Headbangers Ball.
Yeah, Headbangers Ball.
We watched BET. We watched The Basement. All right. We watched, what was the show at night? I can see it. I can hear it. Oh, dadgummit. 877-881-1053. 877-881-1053.
On MTV?
No, it was on BET. It was a late night show that played risque R&B songs that The Quiet Storm. The Quiet Storm.
That took over radio too, because every R&B station would have the Quiet Storm.
They had the Quiet Storm. 877-881-1053.
Shout out to Sade.
You remember. Sade, if you remember the Quiet Storm, I want to hear from you as well. So, again, we're happy to be here, and hopefully you are too. To all my Pisces out there, shout out to all of you. I turn the big 4-5 tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. And
Had the old man turn
80.
Too.
Your
2
dad?
days ago. Yeah.
Your pops is 80?
And sister turns the 4-5 on Tuesday.
Dang, how old are you?
47 end of May.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
How you
really
feeling?
creeping on 50.
Yeah. Well, see, that's
Not
what
great about
okay,
it.
that's
Not
what
great.
I'll be honest with you. This has been a rough week for me, and I don't mean it in a bad way.
BET Uncut. The Tolos are here.
Maybe I'll tell you what, the Quiet Storm. So for any of my people that were in the Kansas City area, Hot 103 jams, and don't forget to slam that Z. The Quiet Storm was on at night, so I'm telling you right now. But that's when radio was radio. That's when radio was radio. When you would call in, caller number 5, caller number 10, whatever. What radio station just set you up with tickets to the Mel Biv DeVoe concert tonight? Hot 103 Jam, and don't forget to slam that Z. And then boom, the song starts, and you're going wild in your car. So and I'm sure every radio station in whatever town you were in had something similar to that. So that being said, this week has been an interesting week for me. Number one, my son had his last high school basketball game ever on Wednesday night. Got to go see that. Now he's trying to figure out what he's going to do with his next chapter of life. And so I'm trying to get him to come down to the DF Dub. He's got a girlfriend that he's had for, and let me ask you this. Okay, so we've got you've been with your girlfriend for
6 years.
Good God, that's a long time.
I know.
So He's 18. He graduates in May, and I am pushing.
Was this
him.
Screensaver Girl? We talked about this.
You're thinking of my cousin.
Oh, okay.
You're thinking of my cousin, and that was short lived, by the way. Shout out to my boy Stevie B, still patrolling the mean streets of DFW, by the way. He did say that crime was down last night while the Fan After Dark was on, so I just want to put that out there, and for anybody that wants to. Maybe do some any kind of endorsement work with us over here. Anyway, I digress. So I'm trying to get my son to come down to the DF Dub, and he's got a girlfriend that he's had for 2 years and 6 months. She wants him to stay in Kansas in little BFE town that they live in. All right, and I have urged, cautioned, and pleaded with him, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. Look, they may work out. I don't know. Again, for every Zabe and his girlfriend's name, that again, 2 years, 6 months, there's Jacob and your young lady. I don't know if it's going to work out or not. I don't know. Okay. 18 is a wild, crazy age. People change, things happen, maturity hits, whatever. I said, look, dude, come down here, kick it with me for a year. Let's work. Let's do what we do. Get away from Kansas. Kind of see what you feel like. And if you want to go back, go back. I told him, hey, tell her to come down. Tell her to come down, visit. I told you the joke when I asked her a couple weeks ago when I was up there, and I said, hey, what's the biggest city you've ever been to? You know what she said? Florida.
Oh.
Okay,
that's a big city.
Pull the Blake on us.
Big city.
Pull the Blake on us. Florida. I said, well, sweetheart, that's a state.
Yeah.
She goes, oh, well, Pensacola.
Huge.
As somebody who was stationed in Pensacola for a hot minute. Now, granted, this was 25 years ago. So then she said, well, Memphis. I drove through it. Very similar. It's like the real
That's
thing.
the best way to see Memphis, by the way.
I was just about to say that.
Get right, get in, get out.
So my son's, in trying to get her to come to the bigger city and see what a real skyscraper looks like, this, that, and the other. So I said, look, dude, you got to do what's best for you. So I've got him, by the end of the dinner, I had him kind of thinking, all right, let's do this. And then he hits me with well, what do I tell his girlfriend? I said, man, you tell her you got to do what's right for you. And again, open it up to her that she can come down. Now, that being said, he said, look, I've been with her for 2 years and 6 months. So Mr. Jacob Reyes, somebody who had been with his girlfriend a comparable amount of time at 18 years old. I know what Fred would do. Fred's deucing. I'm out. What say you?
I mean, to start it off, coming from a kid who grew up probably in about the same size town. I mean, I was 2 hours away from the city in Chicago, and we moved down here. And I mean, I know maybe 3 people from my old high school that went to a D1 school.
Yeah.
And the opportunities down here, like, you can't overstate it. Like, the amount of things you can do down here that you can't really do anywhere else in a big city is insane. But
especially, even for small towns, but even mid-markets. I mean, that's what got me down here. I mean, you want to talk about Cincinnati and those types of markets where they are just so stagnant, and across any kind of spectrum, work-wise, life-wise. I mean, I went back last year, and I'm like, I ain't coming back in a while. Dad, you got to come down and visit. I am bored to tears.
Yeah.
Could not handle it.
I mean, I'll say this. I mean, I'm
going to clip all this, by the way, and send to the kid.
I lived in Dallas when my girlfriend was going to college for her first semester, and I mean, Dallas to Lubbock's probably about as far as he's going to be from his girlfriend. And I mean, granted, I was able to fly out about every month, but I mean, FaceTime's a thing,
It absolutely is.
If you're talking a ton. I mean, I will say it was tougher, her being in a college town, just because of the whole bar atmosphere, and that was kind of new for us. I mean, if you're just straightforward with everything.
How often were you guys seeing each other? Once a month?
Once a month, I'd say, yeah, easily.
Done, bro.
But there was also, I think the key to that is knowing there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You know what you're going to do after a year.
Ideally.
Yeah. If there's a light, it makes it a lot easier. But
yeah. Okay, no, fair enough.
You just got to both want to make it work. If you both want to make it work, you'll be fine.
All right. I'm sold. You ain't got to tell me. All right. I gotta convince him and old girl. So we'll see. I mean, stranger things have happened. I told him, I said, look, blame it on me. Dad'll be the fall guy. Okay, Dad. Nobody wants to see their son succeed more than the dad. Period. End of story. Okay, and I know Facebook and Instagram and TikTok are rife with all these little inspirational quotes, which there's almost too many of them, if I'm being honest. Okay, I'm almost demotivated by all the motivational quotes. Who's got time? And where did all these quotes come from?
AI generated.
Are we really that motivated as a society? I'm not convinced we are. That being said, look, get in where you fit in. So, but the one that says, tell your son, no man wants to see his son be better than him, or whatever the hell I'm trying to. You get what I'm saying, right? No man wants to see another man be successful, except for his dad versus his son. I don't know. I'm probably butchering this. I've
One
seen
every
way too many
4 memes
quotes
that come across on your IG feed.
That's it.
Enough is enough.
That's it.
I don't need it.
My feed right now is rife with Iranian stuff, gym memes, and father-son stuff. That's it. That's what's going on in my meme.
Mine's pretty
mind
fire.
Right now.
I gotta say, of all this stuff, and shout out to any service member that may be putting themselves in harm's way for guess, our country, but or whatever's happening out there. But the memes have been fire. Absolutely,
the memes have been. There. The memes have been. God bless everybody that's out there doing that. All right, I just let's get back to some football stuff. Here's where we're here to what 2? 2. All right,
Rangers baseball taking on the Giants at 2:00 today.
We've got okay. So Will and I are going to lay out the rest of this show. I didn't show. I had a call that went a little longer than I expected this morning, trying to get some stuff done in H-Town. That being said, we're going to do Fatties on the phone. We're going to do Fair or Foul. We're going to Jake off later on this show, okay? We're going to do whatever the hell Will wants to do. So those are 4 segments booked right there. Boom, done, out the gate. Show outro, show rewind, that's 6, okay? So we pretty much mapped out the entire show as far as that goes. So when we come back, Jeremy Fowler on Max, on the Cowboys, what's next and all that. Your text messages and more. 877-881-1053. Don't go anywhere. It's White Guy Radio.
Hey, it's Chiafalo. Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Think again. Bring in your AT&T. Your unwanted bills, maybe turn them into a paper airplane headed to see you never. AT&T.
price to sell. Silverados, Tahoes, Blazers, Malibus, Equinox, and more. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com. This is Texas. This is Classic Chevrolet. Together, let's drive, relax, and enjoy the difference. Based on new Chevy registrations 2023 through 2025.
Newly dubbed White Boy Radio, or White Guy Radio.
Damn right it is. I said maturity.
Maturity.
817. He said, what's maturity? I said maturity. From the 214.
All displayed right here.
Let's see. From the 214, Dallas is going to scare her. Maybe it will. I think, but you know what? You need to see it to believe it.
That's the point, though.
That's the point. Grow up. I mean, look, I grew up in Topeka, Kansas, for God's sakes. Now, that being said, I couldn't wait to get out of Topeka and move to a big city, and I've lived in Houston and Dallas now for the last 15 years of my adult life.
I don't get how that whole point of, like, it's going to eat somebody up. I'm like,
trust me, it's a thing.
Yeah, maybe in New York. There's more stuff to do here. There's more opportunity. What's going to eat you?
Well, but, I mean, you've been to rural little BFE towns.
Yeah.
Some people that's their way of life, dude. You know? I mean, you got to remember, we have all been, and, you know, listeners that are listening right now that are from the DFW or been to big cities, like, you know, like traffic. All right? Like, we understand that it's a means to an end. Like, we understand if you're going to live in Dallas, Texas, if you're going to live in Houston, you're going to deal with traffic. It sucks, and we hate it. But that's the reality of it, okay? We're gonna deal with crappy drivers. I had a guy yesterday as I'm driving home, and oh boy, I'm going on 635, getting ready to hit 35 East to go back to the Ville. No cars. My man just decides he's just gonna stop, slam on his brakes at 11:15 at night. There's nobody around. Let's just slam on the brakes, because why not?
Hey. They were talking about this on Ask Reddit during Crosstalk with KNC and Sean and RJ when Bobby's running, and they talking about, like, there is literal proof and evidence that slow drivers actually cause more accidents than fast drivers.
They absolutely do.
That is what it is. Will Chambers, Fred Davis, Jacob Ray here on your home of the Cowboys. 105.3 The Fan.
785, go Topeka Hayden Wildcats. I don't know who this person is.
There we are.
Shout out to you. That's my high school. I think it's the first time in the 2 years I've been doing radio here that I've seen anybody represent the Hayden Wildcats. Shout out to you, 785. Tell me what class you were. I think maybe we know each other because, you know, all small town people know each other. Carry on.
Big news last night where the Baltimore Ravens have acquired Max Crosby for 2 first-round picks at 2026 this draft and next draft. And that also, things got, well, as they always do when deals go down, quiet on all ends until it happens. And then, you know, you get the autopsy as to how everything played out. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN fame, NBA writer, talking this morning on SportsCenter following the deal with the Ravens on, well, how it felt for the Cowboys.
Yeah, well, the Raiders, Hannah, had 2 teams willing to swing for the fence here, the Cowboys and the Ravens. The Ravens were willing to give up the 2 first-round picks. The Cowboys simply were not. And I was told the Cowboys were low-key devastated by this. They really wanted Max Crosby. They were eyeing him for months, but they just had a tipping point. It was a first-round pick and a second-round pick. They tried to involve a veteran player or 2 to sweeten the deal. The Raiders didn't want that. They simply wanted the youth in the draft picks. The Ravens are willing to go further. Also, the Cowboys had done that Quinnen Williams trade a couple months back where they gave up a lot of draft capital. They didn't want to just be totally decimated on the draft pick front. So now they have to go search for another pass rusher in free agency. They will be active there. They wanted Crosby. They're upset they didn't get him.
Can you separate the emotion of wanting the great player? And Max is great. Max is every single thing that you want in a player, especially a defensive player. And I'll take it a step further. He's exactly the type of guy that the Cowboys, I think, desperately need in their locker room, on the field. Relentless, just a straight-up dog. I said this last year when Jordan Lewis went to Jacksonville. I was like, you lost one of your dogs. And that's something that the team, I think, really, really lacked. And I think
no, you're not wrong about that.
So that's where I think it would have helped the Cowboys tremendously. It would have changed the landscape of their defense. There's no doubt about it. But if you get Max Crosby now, you have your only 1 first-round pick. You got no second, no third. You know, how aggressive you are in what kind of other free agents out there are going to make enough of an impact, no matter how many of them that you can get, to where it would be enough for you to win this year. It's possible that they would have, but I think that they are in just as good a shape. I think it would have been a mistake to send it first, the two firsts.
I don't disagree. Like I said, you've got too much that you need on this football team to give away 2 first-round picks. And, if you did decide to do that, if it was a pick this year and a pick next year. Now, could I have lived with you give up the 20 this year, you give away what ideally will be a late first-round pick if you do what you're supposed to do? I mean, again, if it gets you a Super Bowl, you're fine with it. I just think that right now, seeing is believing with this football team. All right. And yes, well, I think we all agree that this team had a Super Bowl caliber offense last year. And again, let me make that distinction very, very clear. This team had a Super Bowl caliber offense. We all know the defense was historically bad, but you got, and again, provided that you get George Pickens in the fold, because I think that's the one aspect that we're tending to overlook right now. Yes, we all agree this defense has to be overhauled, and I think we're all on the same page as far as that goes. I'm a little bit nervous about how this George Pickens thing is going to play out, because all right. And I don't know, do we have the audio of Dak, what he said about George Pickens the other day? See if you can find that audio, because he caught a lot of flack for this. About basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, that, hey, he would love to see a long-term deal get done, which we all agree, although I'm not convinced I want to. And after talking to, we had George Reister on, and we've had some other people on that have said, are you sure you want to give him $80 million? I agree with that. I'm a little nervous about that, too. Play the audio real quick from Dak when he's talking about George Pickens.
Yeah, George loves football. That's the one thing about it. I just want him to know, don't change your love for football. Don't get in the business mind of this. You played last year on a 1 year for not even that much, right? So if you can go 30, whatever it is now, I think it's the same thing I got. So, when I franchise. So, hey, go do it. At the end of the day, bet on yourself. He's a hell of a player. Hopefully we can get him long-term and sign that. But if not, I think the way that he plays the game and the person that he is, he'll be just fine.
So people were giving him a hard time, and I can't remember there was a football podcast that didn't appreciate the way he was talking on about, you're trying to get him to go get a long-term deal, and by encouraging him to play on a franchise tag, then maybe if Dak's okay with him playing on a franchise tag, you could potentially, if you're the Cowboys, you could use that in negotiating, right? As far as, well, hey, the quarterback said it's okay to play on a franchise, on a franchise tag. Look, I could care less one way or the other. I don't think anything he said was wrong. It's Dak Prescott, and look, people were saying, well, it's easy for him to say that. He's got $240 million to
yeah, but he also, in his career span, was tagged at least once. Was it twice? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
I don't know if it was twice. I know he was tagged at least once, though, to your point.
And no player, not one player in the NFL wants the franchise tag. I mean, if you're worthy of getting it, I mean, third stringer would obviously love it, but you know what I mean.
Right.
They do not want the franchise tag.
They want the long-term deal.
They want a long-term deal. So, yeah, but sometimes that's what... Look, the business is what it is, and this is what you have to do in roster construction and trying to, have the ability to go out and get other players and not be totally locked in to somebody that you may not be sure of. I'll say this when it comes to George Pickens on the loving of football and all that kind of stuff, because what were the things coming in that, maybe he's not a great locker room guy, doesn't show up all the time or shows up late, and then he was taking plays off. He's 24 years old. The guys around him, and Dak is not the only one that says he loves football. That's really all I need at 24 years old.
Yeah.
Because the other stuff can come in. I don't disagree with you that it's something that I would be a little bit wary of. And if you do sign him long-term, does he revert back? Does all of a sudden he turn into Brandon Ayuk, right? Because Brandon Ayuk all of a sudden got paid and was just like, meh.
Now, in fairness, though, I did read something recently that said part of his problem was he wasn't rehabbing like he was supposed to.
Right.
The team called him out on it, and allegedly, now again, it's Twitter, so take it with a grain of salt. He may never play football again. Real quick, I gotta bring up one thing though. Do you have the text line up? Look, I've been called a lot of things on radio in my almost 20 years of doing this. Watching paint dry has never been one of them. Okay? You can call me a douchebag. You can call me, I say too much about Kansas City and Kansas and bringing up Houston and all that kind of stuff. I'll live with that. But when someone calls out my energy level on the radio, that's where I do take umbrage with this.
For what it's worth, I was looking, just seeing if we're getting trolled. The person texting that is the same area code as Reetma. So,
look, it could be Reetma's.
Could be his burner.
It could be a side piece for all we know.
Wait, Fred, since he walked in the door today, has not sat down.
I haven't sat down, for God's sakes, okay? And look, where's Fan U? I think it meant Fan. It said Fan I, so I think it meant Fan U. Okay, so first of all, you can't even text
Fan
right.
Industries.
So, maybe you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. New show, not cutting it. Rather watch paint dry than listen to this. Bring back Reetma. At least had some personality and energy. Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm sure there's a TSN report out there that you can probably bring up if you want to listen to that. So, anyway, and he's on tomorrow, isn't he?
With me.
Okay, so the two live Jakes will be on tomorrow. So, like I said, I can take all the heat for things I say, but when you start calling out my personality and my energy level and saying it's like watching paint dry, and again, I get it. You're capping for your boy there, so it is what it is. But
it's Max level or Max Crosby type level energy that I'm feeling in here in this building since you walked in the door. So
let me tell you
if
something.
I may,
You've done Fan After Dark. You listen to Fan After Dark, all right? I mean, this is nighttime radio vibes, boys, okay? You've done nighttime radio. You produce nighttime radio. So, look, you'll get your Reetma fill tomorrow from 9 to noon, all right? So calm down. Calm down.
Kansas Jayhawks right across the chest of my colleague here, Fred Davis. Will Chambers, Fred Davis
you're not
here
wearing
with
a UK
you.
shirt today.
No, got
going
the
on?
shoes.
You do have the shoes.
Got the shoes going.
You guys lost to A&M the other day.
I know, bad. I don't know if I have ever seen a more Jekyll and Hyde team in the last month out of
trust
the
Mark
UK
Pope?
Squad.
That's the bottom line. Because I got a hot take. You know what? What are we going next?
Let's do that next.
Let's
hit
do
up
that.
some college basketball when we come back.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We're going to do Fatties on the phone at 11:40. Okay, it's that kind of day. We're gonna do Fatties on the phone at 11:40. We'll do Fair or Foul in the 1 o'clock hour, and then we'll do some Jaking Off in the 1 o'clock hour as well. But let's talk some college basketball because I've got a hot take. I meant to share it on last night, but I'll tell you what, we're gonna do it with our boy Will because he can appreciate this as well. And we've got some Fatties on the phone to get to later on the program as well, where you get to share your thoughts as well. 877-881-1053. Don't go anywhere.
Sean and RJ, the KNC Masterpiece.
Dallas-Fort Worth. Let's go, Cowboys.
An Odyssey sports station. Driven by our D&M Leasing Studios. Thanks for turning it on, leaving it on. 105.3 The Fan.
All right, hour 2 on this Saturday morning. White Boy Radio. Will Chambers, Fred Davis for the very first time with Texas Rangers baseball starting when they take on the Giants today at 2 o'clock. So we've got you for the next 3 hours. Going to be a lot of fun here. Jacob Ray back in the Pimp Cup on the 1s and 2s. We got Fatties on the phone coming up at the end of this hour. Fair or Foul in the 1 o'clock hour. Jaking off. That's a new one for me.
That's the go-to for me.
All right. I love it. That's all coming up before we give way.
Theme for you.
All right, we're going to do a little college basketball here. I have been doing over the last few weeks, Fred, giving my top 5 as I do in the college football season. And this is regardless of ranking, although it's going to be pretty similar to the ranking, but in what I have seen. I have never seen you so enthralled in the Franklin Frankel injury attorneys.
It's a new, I tell you what, the Fan After Dark texts, and, it's kind of like your family. You kind of know what you're going to get. We have a very... we have a fun back and forth. They call us out when we're not doing great, and
niche
vice
audience.
versa.
And by the way, some of the best callers I've ever heard, because those. I texted you guys when you had. I was like, I thought some kid calling in, and it was one of the best calls I've ever heard. When he dropped the, I'll hang up. Or no, he didn't say I'll hang up unless when he dropped the, I'll put you on hold. That was it for me. That was it.
Okay, so let me just say this: if you're gonna text from a Michigan area code, okay, just at least put your name on it. Like, just put that out there. That look, your friends, your
should
family,
I drop Michigan out of my top 5 for this?
Of your friends and family of Jake, okay. Give us a break. All right, give us a break. Here's another 231. You're from the was this from the Lower Peninsula? What do you guys call that? Yeah, the LP.
It's the hand.
Okay.
Right?
Fully acknowledge Saturday morning slot can be tough. Have low expectations. Okay, so a nice little backhanded compliment there.
All right, but I hosted that for 5.5 years. So anyway, I appreciate that.
Yeah, so he's basically saying we're not any good.
R.I.P. the Fan Jam.
You have to really suck to be bad in this slot. Fan U was at least entertaining. This new show blows.
Man, alive.
And by the way, this guy's from the
feel
Lower
like these
Peninsula
are more
Michigan.
shots at me than they are really going
it's
at
a
you.
shot at both of us.
Okay.
Shot at both of us. So apparently we suck. Fan U sucked, apparently, according to... So they're trying to lessen the blow a little bit, but we really suck.
They should call in.
Yeah, I mean, let us know. Let us know.
1140 will start lining them up, 877-881-1053.
Man, yeah.
I like it. Is Duke your number 1?
Bro, no, Arizona is.
Okay, I just did this a second ago where I had my top 5. I had Arizona, then Duke, and I just changed it Duke, Arizona. I wonder if it's my own bias because I have been saying for the better part of the year, I was like, there's 2 teams that are the best teams in the country, and they're Arizona and Michigan. And then conference play started, and Duke has been so unbelievably good. You know, the last time that they had a win by fewer than 13 points was on January the 10th. I mean, they had the loss in there, by the way, with North Carolina.
I haven't been able to watch as much Duke as I've wanted to this year. I watched a lot more Duke last year, and that was because I'm a Cooper Flagg stan. I'll be the first to admit it. And, of course, when he made his way to Dallas, I mean, I couldn't have been more excited and more happy about it. That said, clearly I've watched a lot more Big 12 basketball than I've watched anything else this year. I've got to watch Arizona in person. That's grown man basketball. That is grown man basketball. They've got bigs, they've got size, they've got talent, they've got good guard play. They go 7 or 8 deep.
They could score in any way they need to.
It doesn't matter. And they just crash. There's something to be said for old school basketball. When you got 3 bigs that crash the boards and make it hard for everybody else, man, I'm telling you what, that's hard to defend against. That's hard to play against. And Arizona... Again, the tournament is.
That's exactly where I was going next.
You know, anything can happen. All right,
and especially to Arizona because they are infamous for just all
melting
of the
down.
Totally
melting.
So we'll
down.
see if that happens. But yeah, Arizona all year. Both teams have 2 losses. Duke, I think, is the best defensive team in the country. Cam Boozer is I think that the lowest he scored all year was like 14 points. He's easily the most consistent player in college basketball.
Hands down.
They are so good. Then I think we can just say it's like 1 and 1A, wherever you slot them.
My heart, and again, you can appreciate this. And all three of us, we all three like some good college basketball here and have reputable college basketball programs. Shout out to North Texas. They're going to be in, the CBT this year? Aren't they? Or are they just, what are they going to be in? 877-881-1053 if you're a North Texas fan. The CBT? The CBT is like the NIT of the NIT.
Oh, my.
The college basketball tournament. Okay, where I want to say they just play it at local high school gyms. But that being said, my heart has KU going to the national championship. My head has Arizona Duke.
Yeah. I am going to throw a flyer out there for Florida, though.
Don't sleep on Florida either, man. They've been tough, too. I've watched them play a couple times.
They have been beating the doors off everybody lately. They're just crushing people. Last year, I said pretty definitively, I'm like, Florida is the best team in the country.
Yeah.
Like, hands down. And they're almost playing. They're almost playing as well as they were last year right now. They're scary. Michigan, I think it showed kind of their true colors against Duke. Where you're like, yeah, they are really, really good. But I think if you match them up against Florida or Arizona as well, that would be, you'd get the same result. And I'm going to say the same thing about UConn, who I have finishing out my top 5. So I've got 3 teams that I believe are the true national championship caliber teams.
Yeah.
And that's Duke, Arizona, and Florida.
Look, I don't disagree with any of that. Duke, Arizona, Florida. Like I said, I like UConn to your point, just because they do have that toughness, and I do like Dan Hurley as a coach. They've been there, done that before, so there's something to be said for that. And they expect to be there, which I think there's you can't argue with that. A team that I could see being sneaky, and they'll find a way. If you told me they got to the Final Four and then didn't score 45 points in the Final Four game itself, wouldn't surprise me one bit. And that's U of H.
Okay. U of H, they've righted, the ship. They dropped 3 straight. They've had back-to-back wins. Kingston Fleming's, they've got a few stars on there. I agree.
They got 3 guys, between Sharp, Flemings, and then what's the kid that came back? Uzan. Yeah. Look, in college basketball, and you know this, both you guys know this, and all the folks listening at home know this, and this is something that if when you go to pick your brackets, and really this is just kind of championship basketball 101, is every team's got 2 dudes. Okay, like if you got a team that doesn't have at least 2 dudes, done. You
right.
ain't you're not a Sweet 16 team. You're definitely not an Elite 8 team, but you got to have 2 dudes. If you're going to make a championship run, you got to have 2 dudes, and then you got to have a third guy that can come out of nowhere and isn't necessarily out of the realm of possibility, but can give you double figures, but then can pop off for 20 or 30 if the mood suits them. Right. If you don't have 3 guys that can score at a high level, you ain't winning a championship. Period. End of story.
No doubt. And there are a few teams out there that have that are kind of, in my opinion, they're the ones that could sneak into a Final Four. It's hard to say with these schools, with the caliber, their tradition, their programs to sneak in anywhere. But they're not expected to get to a Final Four, but could do so by upsetting a top team because of how good they are on the top end. And that to me is, Kansas and Kentucky, and I'm not doing that just because of the 2 hosts of the show here, because you've got Darren Peterson. If he somehow locks in, that's a problem. But you also, it's a good backcourt with Trey White, right? Okay.
I'm less worried about him locking in. I'm more concerned about who's he making better, and are your bigs going to show up?
Okay. 1,000%.
No, and I know
because
you're saying that,
we can go through all the issues that they have, but then all of a sudden, I'm looking at bracketology, and right now Kansas is, according to Joe Lunardi, he has them as a 4 seed in with Michigan. Now, the problem is the third team I have in there is Arkansas. And that's only because Acuff is so friggin' good. He is so good.
I like him.
And then to your point on the two players, on the Kentucky side, you got Owe, and then if Colin Chandler, who, can shoot lights out, but also on what he's able to do defensively. Now, you can have them, playing great, getting some big wins, and then all of a sudden you go down to A&M and you're playing really well the first, 7 or 8 minutes, and then A&M just smoked them.
Yeah.
Just smoked them.
Yeah.
They are so Jekyll and Hyde. But those are the type of teams you're like, okay, if you told me whatever matchup they have, like if you had a second round Kansas-Arkansas, I'm here for that. But the winner to come out of that to probably take on Michigan, that's the type of, upset that I could see going into the tournament outside of, those obvious top 3 teams that I think are your championship.
I'm not convinced we're going to make it out of the first weekend.
No, I mean, same. I said the same thing losing A&M. Like that's a first weekend loss team. But in the tournament, if your 2 guys are on that first weekend.
Then all bets are off, right? I mean, once you get past that first weekend, of course, after we lost to Arizona State on, what was that, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, whatever that was, then, of course, KU Twitter explodes that both of our bigs are being shopped in the portal already.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have that. Where are you at?
Right now?
I know.
I mean, right now? I mean, we can't be locked. I mean, first I had to worry about Darren Peterson, whether he cared. Now I got to worry about whether my big men care.
Where are you at with Texas Tech?
Look, I mean, the fact that they're playing, I'm not going to say they're playing better, but they haven't missed a beat without Obi Toppin.
They've been okay.
Okay?
JT, but yeah, fair enough.
Or JT, Obi.
I know,
Jacob. You know what I'm talking about.
I throw them all in there.
Look, they're a Sweet 16 team. They're a Sweet 16 team. I mean, look, you survived the gauntlet of the Big 12. A guy like JT Toppin makes you a Final Four team. This is a Sweet 16 team without him.
Yes, but I think that's an easy way to look at it. Once they went into Ames and beat Iowa State, I was like, okay. I had removed them from being a Final Four championship contender type team. I thought that they could be with JT Toppin. You lose him, I'm like, that's not going to happen. And then they go into Ames, and they handled Iowa State. They played. Then you lose. I know you lose to TCU, and you lost in Lubbock, and I'm like, that kind of shows you where your floor is. But sometimes, look, that's conference play right there. And that's another thing that where I'm like with Duke, where I'm going, they're in Florida. They're smoking everybody in front of them.
Yeah.
Everybody. You have those, Tuesday or Wednesday nights or in the Big 12, a Monday night where you're like, okay, you lose some of those during conference play. To me, they're kind of one-offs.
It's going to happen. I mean, who had KU losing to Arizona State? I know I certainly didn't.
No.
No, that wasn't on my bingo card for this year.
Well, do you know the stat of the back-to-back with Tucson and Arizona State? Arizona State is 5-1 against teams that play against Arizona and don't travel back home before playing Arizona State. That's what they got us too. Yeah. 5-1. If you hit the back-to-back from Arizona to Arizona State is 5-1.
Yeah, because Arizona beat you down.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, Arizona State's not terrible, and I don't know that I get rid of Bobby Hurley.
I don't think so.
I know there's been a lot of scuttlebutt about him just being. I mean, who's won at Arizona State? That's not an easy place to win at. I mean, the fact that
a lot of distractions.
There's a ton of distractions. And number 2. When you've got your football coach basically begging for money from boosters, I mean, I'm sorry, but that was a bad look for me.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. KU football's nothing to write home to mom about, but at least Lance Leipold isn't sitting there in press conferences. I know we got some $20 million donors. It's like, bro, you're groveling in front of everybody, and I understand. You can make 2 arguments. Unfortunately, that's where we're at in the world of college sports today.
He just complains about tortillas.
It's like, come on. Seriously, dude. Seriously.
Pocket knives.
Don't get me started on that. Look, here's the bottom line. We're a week away from Selection Sunday.
Oh, my. The best.
I mean, it's the best. It's the best.
There's like this shot of adrenaline that it feels like right when that music hits, right when in about 5 minutes, I know when Kentucky
March 27th,
is playing.
what are you doing? March 27th, what are you doing? that night? It's a
I
Sweet
don't know.
16
Probably
weekend. You might be
likely
working. Maybe if you're working. Okay, if you're not working that night, come on down. What's it called? Cold beers and cheeseburgers?
Oh, yeah. I heard the promo in this.
I should know this by now.
Oh, yeah.
Cold beers and cheeseburgers. Fan After Dark makes it official. Now, we've gone out and we've done, I don't know.
By the way, what a name. I mean, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
That is one of the best names of a restaurant. Cold beer and cheese. That made me hungry and thirsty right as you said it.
No, I mean it's a solid. Now I've never been to said place, Cold Beers and Cheeseburgers, but March 27th, second weekend of the tournament. It'll be that Friday night of the Sweet 16. So come on out. Jacob Ray will be there.
You and I will likely have no stress level at that point because our teams will both be done.
Or they'll both be playing that night. Okay? Or they have played that Thursday night. I mean, look, anything can happen. You know as well as anybody the Big 12, or excuse me, the NCAA tournament is a strange mistress. So all bets are off. As far as I can say.
You count me in for that.
Done.
If I'm not working.
If you're not working, we've got Trevor. Which, by the way, I didn't even think. We don't know how Trevor's date went last night.
Oh, we're going to get an update on that before,
we don't know how Trevor's date
we're out of
went
here at 2 o'clock.
Where are you taking us next? Where do you want to go next?
Let's. Did anybody emerge as a Super Bowl contender after the trades this week? We'll talk about that next here on The Fan.
Tolo means turn it on and leave it on. Thank you for making 105.3 The Fan and the Odyssey app part of your day every day.
Good news. Frontier is joining Verizon, making it easier than ever to connect and save at home and on the go. And for a limited time, Frontier customers who switch to a Verizon mobile plan could get our best price ever. 2 mobile lines for just $50 per month. Visit Verizon.com/Welcome Frontier to learn more. Frontier and Verizon. Better together. $55 per line for 2 lines. Less $60 monthly promo credits apply to account over 36 months. In times of congestion, your data may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
D&M Leasing just delivered
Back to 105.3 The Fan. This segment's brought to you by the personal injury lawyers Frankel & Frankel. If you've been injured in a car or truck wreck, call Frankel first, 214 or 817-333-3333. With Frankel & Frankel, there is never an out-of-pocket cost. They only get paid when you win. Frankel & Frankel, the go-to car and truck wreck attorneys in Dallas.
This business will kill you.
White Guy Radio, people. White Guy Radio. I wasn't sure if he was doing it. I don't think it just said, muscle memory.
Well, we were talking through the read.
Right up until it. Thad's on the phone here in about 14 minutes, so stand by. Have we had any more angry Michiganders text into the show?
I think we had one other one, but
what'd he say?
That wasn't as good as the other ones. He didn't bring the game. It just wasn't as good. I think somebody said that your personality was drier than Kansas barbecue, is what one guy said.
Wow.
It's the most lame thing I've ever... I've heard a lot of things. No one's ever questioned my personality.
And is Kansas City barbecue dry?
No, we use sauce.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I've always known it as sauce.
That tells me all I need to know, that A, you're a fraud, and B, you're a phony.
Yeah.
How good do you think Michigan barbecue is?
Two things you've never heard used in the same sentence.
Yeah. Right.
Michigan barbecue. Unless you move there from an area that does barbecue.
Yeah. No.
Seriously.
No.
When I think of Michigan, I think of sex-crazed coaches.
Boy, Sherrod Moore's really just continuing his ride here.
Well, he got the case dropped. I mean, he's gonna get the 2 misdemeanors.
Did he not? Was it something that
they dropped the felony
on your feed where it'll be something from like a while back, but it looks like it happened recently? Because I was like seeing the Snapchat, thing that was released.
Oh,
yeah. His DMs, it was bad.
It was bad.
Yeah,
because he was related to another case,
real.
Right?
Yeah,
he was related to another former coach.
Who? Mel Tucker? Is that who you're thinking of?
Might have been Mel Tucker's burner.
Oh,
I mean, I don't want to hear anybody from Michigan talk smack. Okay, I really don't. I mean, what are you holding your hat on? Seriously, the Pistons. I mean, look, I'm excited for the Pistons. I am.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm rightfully so. I'm a Cade Cunningham guy. I've been a Cade Cunningham fan for a long time.
They're going to lose in the second round.
All right. Wouldn't be surprised if that. I'm a Cade Cunningham and I'm a Jalen Duren fan. So I will say, as the kids say, I F's with the Detroit Pistons. Let's see. The Lions, whack. Red Wings, don't care enough about hockey to care. Now, I do miss the Fab Five. Okay, we're old enough to remember the Fab Five. I remember reading the book, The Fab Five, with Mitch Albom.
Great 30 for 30.
Tremendous 30 for 30. Shout out to Ray King Ray Jackson and Jimmy King representing the DFW areas as well. So I do appreciate that.
Katie's incredible, but man, they have. If he isn't like basically all their offense, if he's not like being an MVP, they don't win games. And that's hard. That's hard to do when the defense gets ratcheted up during the playoffs. I think they're a year away. Despite how good they've been this regular season.
Eminem hasn't put out a good album in 20 years.
Yeah.
The last good Eminem album was the Eminem Show.
And
I know
I'm having flashbacks to
last
week. Last week.
What happened last week?
Just lots of controversy between. We did a bracket of 2000s pop songs.
So I tuned in at the very end of that segment, or at the very end of that show, because I had slept in, and so I caught the very tail end of it, and it was what, Toxic versus Lose Yourself?
Yeah.
Great. Look, first of all, great discussion, great debate. Lose Yourself might be one of Eminem's worst songs.
That somebody had texted in fact, a few people did, that is one of the worst. It does have a campy element
corny,
to it. Yeah.
It's campy, it's poppy. There's nothing good. Lose Yourself was just a song they put out for 8 Mile. Just not a good song. No. I'm sorry. Not a good song.
By the way.
Toxic, though?
I mean, look, iconic.
Britney
is what it is.
She's got arrested, too, by the way.
Yeah. Wonder she had any knives in the car.
Hot mess, dude.
Oh, man.
Now we see why her dad was the guardian.
Seriously.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's what happens when you let go of your dad, people.
You think Sherrod Moore's been in those DMs? I'm willing to bet yes.
Britney's?
Oh. I mean, I think he's an equal opportunity.
I think I don't deny that either, but man, Britney's DMs. That's a rabbit hole right there.
That
Chief.
it is. That
Okay.
it is.
You ready to take that gamble?
Nah,
I'm not.
I'm all set with that.
I'm not.
Did have some breaking news.
Breaking news.
Just as we were
Breaking
heading
news.
to the break, as we were looking at some NFL trades, I had a question that I have for Fred here on if Kansas City is embracing a full rebuild. But the Cowboys, according to Adam Schefter, have placed a second-round $5.76 million tender on kicker Brandon Aubrey.
I'm here for it.
Who can now sign an offer sheet with another team. The Cowboys will have the right to match, and if they don't, they would get back a second-round pick, something they do not have
I'm good with
in this
that.
upcoming draft. I am as well.
So that just tells me that he's probably here for one more year, and if they do, basically, it's like, all right, look, is somebody willing to give up a second-round pick for Brandon Aubrey?
Yeah, tremendous weapon. It really is a tremendous weapon. But when you get into the cost of things, I don't mind. I think it could be 1 year, but this day and age in the NFL, with the salary cap going up as much as it is yearly. Because of streaming deals, all the television money that's coming in, that money still could be there. That's why when that $7 million was kind of floated around, I'm like, well, that's not so good for this year, considering what you're having to do in restructuring. But you do have them for at least this year. So
Which,
there you
by
go.
the way, okay, Riley Patterson for the Miami Dolphins. Free agent. Here's a list of the top 10 they don't even have 10 listed. Top 7 free agent kickers going into 2026. Riley Patterson went 27 to 29 last year. Joey Sly drilled 80% of his field goals last year. Eddie Pinheiro. Eddie P. Daniel Carlson.
Eddie P. the
who's
double
had
doink?
kind of an up and down year. Matt Prater, who's damn near our age. And then apparently Jason Sanders. Who was 37 to 41 in 2024, but he missed all of last year with a hip injury.
Okay.
So look, God forbid you lose Brandon Aubrey, and none of us want to see that happen. But if it does go down in the DMs like that, you got some options. You got some options.
Riley Patterson, 3 of 4. Beyond 50 with a long of 51. That's a little different than what you have from Brandon Aubrey, but be that as it may. My question being to you, I've been waiting all week for this, just because the big trade before Max Crosby deal, which was done last night, Baltimore Ravens trading 2 first-round picks to the Raiders to acquire Max Crosby, leaving the Cowboys out in the cold. The Chiefs trading Trent McDuffie to the Rams. The Rams, you like those picks?
Love it.
They don't care. Are the Chiefs right now, maybe full rebuild is too strong, but at least a rebuild for this upcoming season?
Retool is what they're doing right now. Look, they're similar to the Cowboys, and they're very top heavy at certain positions. And look, you had to get rid of your right tackle, right? Cowboys may end up doing the same thing. You've got a rookie going into his second year at left tackle in Josh Simmons, so that's a big question mark as to will he actually play a full season? Because he was good when he played, but then he had this mysterious absence in the middle of the year. Then he came back, then he got hurt in the Cowboy game and was gone for the rest of the year. So and you saw how that factored for the Chiefs the rest of the way. They need a running back. I'm not ready to pay $11 million to Kenneth Walker, so I hope they figure that out. I've said all along, I would go get Kenyon Sadiq. I don't know if you go grab him at 9, but if you can trade back a couple of spots and pick him up at 11, 12 and grab another pick in the meantime, you go do that. The defense wasn't terrible, but here's the problem. You weren't going to pay Trent McDuffie.
Yeah.
Okay, you weren't going to trade Pet McDuffie. You weren't going to pay Trent McDuffie. And here's the other thing, too, is that I want to say Chris Jones's cap hit is about to approach $30 to $35 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you consider what he's about to be paid, and you've got to figure out, and you've got 2 guys along that interior line in both Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey who are the highest paid at their respective positions.
You just picked up 3 picks for this draft.
Yeah.
When you have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, but when you have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback and you got holes across the roster, I mean, from my standpoint, you have got to get running back That has to be situated.
Yeah.
You also need wide receiver. Too long now that they have just relied on Patrick Mahomes to be, Lord and Savior without having, much at that position and not having much of a running game. They got a lot of holes to fill, but now that they have created a lot of capital in order to make it quick, I don't know about next year because I thought going into this past year that they were going to miss the playoffs because I'm like, this is going to catch up to them, and it did.
No, absolutely did.
And I think it's still going to be probably something going into next year that won't be enough to get them back to where they were previously, but I think by the following year, a lot has been discussed about whether or not that this could be New England 2.0, where you had that 10-year period in between championships in the Brady era.
Yeah.
That ain't happening here. Not from my standpoint, from what I see.
Well, but here's the thing, too. People forget. I mean, they still went to Super Bowls in that 10-year period. They just didn't win them.
Yeah.
Right? Would they go to 2, 3, whatever it was that they went to in that 10-year period that they didn't win? So I look at it from... And people keep saying, well, you need wide receiver help. You need wide receiver help. I don't disagree with that in some way, but do they need wide receivers or do they need better coaching? I mean, here's what we forget.
No, I think you had addition by subtraction probably this year.
Well, here's my thing. You were banking on Rashee Rice. And for all the fantasy people out there, Rashee was a dog those first 2 or 3 games back and then fell off a cliff. Right? Travis Kelce's old, and Xavier Worthy can't get open. And one of your best wide receivers was Tyquan Thornton, and then you get the 4th-round pick, Jaden Royals kid. You never played to the very end of the season. So, look, you've got 4 picks in the top 74 this year. You're going to have about $45 million, I think, when it's all said and done after they clear some space. I think they've got 2 or 3 more contracts that they can renegotiate and get that thing cleared up. So, the biggest question for me is, can you hit those 4? What do you do at running back? What do you do with those first 4 picks? And what's the timeline look like for our boy Patty Mahomes?
Who had a better week, the Rams or the Bears, with the moves they made? Oh, Jacob, I'm going to go to you first, actually, on this.
I was very high after the DJ Moore trade. I think we all kind of knew it was going to happen, but the fact that you got a 2nd-round pick for probably your 4th best target next season is pretty astounding. I'm still kind of warming up to the Bradbury acquisition. I don't really know how he fits. I mean, you gotta love a guy who they think is gonna fit the scheme, and I mean he's roommates with Joe Thuney. So I mean we've reached a point, and Will, you could probably agree with this. I mean, if Ben wants him, then I trust that. So
I still think it's the Rams because the one weakness that they had on their team last year was at corner. I mean, that was, they've got a really good young defensive unit, but needed help at the cornerback position, and they're pretty set everywhere else. So to me, the Rams, I'm like, man, that has to be. Look, they're the Super Bowl favorite now, right? They're the odds-on favorite, I believe, to go and win the Super Bowl next year. And I think the Dahlman thing hit hard. But I thought, look, Les Snead does what he does.
Did he give a reason why he retired? The center?
His father was an offensive lineman in San Francisco back in the day, and I guess he saw what happened to an NFL body and just kind of was like, you know what, I made $25 million at 27. I'm going to call it. So,
wow,
yeah. It's a big loss.
Yeah,
it's a big loss there. Still very bullish on what next season looks like for them. And we'll see what happens, without, being in the Max Crosby deal on where else they're going to go because they serious depth issues at linebacker, but we'll see how they address it in the draft. Where I look at the Rams, I'm like, what's the Rams' weakness?
Don't have one right
not
now.
Really sure.
No, they're. That's why I say the Rams. I don't know that anybody has come out better than the Rams right now. I mean, the one situation or the one position that they needed to fix was cornerback, and that's exactly what they went out and did. I mean, you got Trent McDuffie, you got a front 7 that you feel good about. You just signed Curl, you got Lake. I mean, again, you got Stafford, who doesn't look like he's slowing down. I mean, they didn't lose at the end of the year because of him.
Right.
I mean, that team. I mean, he was still slinging it. You got Devontae Williams, and really, you probably got one more year before you got to pay Puka.
Yeah.
So this is where, kind of like you got
the window, I think, is next year. And then that's going to start to really close because with the quarterbacks, it kind of just falls off. They're at the point where mentally at the peak, still there physically, maybe not as great as it was, years past. Obviously, he had the back issue, but could still, he just won an MVP. But it kind of closes, boom, real fast.
Unless they get lucky
happen.
and find somebody to fill in or take over for him. But no, Rams right now got to be the odds-on favorite. That NFC West is going to be loaded again next year. And we haven't even seen what the Cardinals are going to do. Jacoby Brissett, 2 point. Jimmy G, cancel Christmas.
Just seriously, a gauntlet.
Fatty's on the phone, 877-881-1053, 877-881-1053. Let's hear if all you Michiganders can put your money where your mouth is, since you guys have been talking cash, you-know-what, on the text lines. So let's hear what your bubbling personalities sound like on air, since you guys got them Twitter tough fingers texting into the program, okay? But to everybody else, and we kid because we love, 877-881-1053. How we doing on a Saturday? How are we feeling now that the Cowboys are not in the Max Crosby sweepstakes, and how are we feeling overall on this Saturday afternoon? Lots to get to. Fatty's on the phone, 877-881-1053. Don't go anywhere.
You follow here, Tolos, and I am a proud CertaPro Painters customer because they really are the best in the business. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. And you can ask about their spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th. And now's the time to complete that painting project you've been putting off. CertaPro Painters provides a free estimate quickly and at the right price. CertaPro Painters knows how important your home is to you, and now is the time to capitalize. Schedule your free estimate online, CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, CertaPro.com.
Spring weather is unpredictable. You never know which way you'll be adjusting your thermostat unless you have the right windows. With Window Nation, you can count on your home being comfortable regardless of the weather. Their windows are customizable and energy efficient. Expert installations take just one day, and Window Nation products are backed by a lifetime warranty. There's no better time to upgrade with Window Nation. In March, the more you buy, the more you could save. Up to 50% off all window styles. Visit windownation.com for your free consultation today.
Cowboys fans, the NFL offseason is heating up. Before summer temperatures come on with a full blitz, schedule a first-time $59 AC tune-up and professional cleaning with On-Time Experts. Proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Here's the truth. Dirt, dust, and debris are the number one killers of air conditioners. Most companies do a quickie system check, but at the On-Time Experts, we remove all that harmful buildup. Go to theontimeexperts.com and schedule your $59 tune-up today. The On-Time Experts, a proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you
upgrade your vehicle, get to Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine. #1 Chevy dealership in the world 3 years straight. They've got more new Chevys than anyone, all priced to sell. Silverados, Tahoes, Blazers, Malibus, Equinox, and more. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com. This is Texas. This is Classic Chevrolet. Together, let's drive, relax, and enjoy the difference. Based on new Chevy registrations 2023 through 2025.
What a read. What a read from the one, the only, Mr. Jacob Ray.
Exquisite.
All right, 877-881-1053, 877-881-1053. Fatty's on the phone or Tello's on the telephone, however you want to put it. If you're new to the segment, it's pretty simple. It's a call-in segment. It's old school radio because Will and I are old school radio guys. And that's what we do. So we implemented Fatty's on the phone at the start of the year. We had done it last summer where we would have people call in. Because like I said, I am, and you are, of the old school where people called in. Now, I'm not a believer in, hey, let's do phone calls for an entire show where, you're leaning on phone calls to carry your show. All right. Now, I'm of the...
This ain't Mike Francesa over here.
This is not Mike Francesa. Not to say that you can't get some good calls that way. I am of the Jim Rome school of phone calls. Have a take, don't suck. All right. That's the school. That's the radio I grew up with. And look, I know Jim Rome is not the Jim Rome that we grew up with, but for those that know, Jim Rome in the mid to late 90s, early 2000s, that was must-listen radio.
Chris Everett.
Man, look! Bugahaw, road trips, tour stops. He was that dude. I'm telling you right now, Jim Rome, and again, he's not what he used to be. And look, not to say that he's bad. I mean, I still listen to his podcast every now and again, but no, Jim Rome was a dog back in the day. So that's where and a great interviewer too.
Yeah, and my problem was that I felt like he just became too reliant on. Like you didn't hear any of his takes. He would just be like. He was just taking phone calls.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, he always had good interviews.
Yeah.
That was one thing about Jim Rome. Always had good interviews. And so I remember listening to Jim Rome. I was on my bunk in Pensacola, Florida.
Shout out. Second Pensacola drop
shout out
today.
To my son's girlfriend. It's the first big city she ever went to was Pensacola. And
really, it was Florida.
It was really Florida. That's so true. I was waiting on my orders because I had just graduated SAR school and mech school, and they didn't have my orders yet. And so I was hanging out, waiting one day at lunch, and I was listening to Jim Rome, and I thought, you know what? This is what I want to do when I get out of the Navy, and here we are. All right, 877-881-1053. Let's go out to Jeff in Keller. What's up, Jeff in Keller?
Well. So, full disclosure, I call into Sean and RJ probably for the last 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
And as a Michigander, diehard Lions, Red Wings, and Tigers fan, I've got some messages to the Michiganders and low-energy BS comments.
Thank you.
You come from the most milquetoast, low-energy state in the country. I was born and raised there. It was so low-energy and milquetoast that I, like all great Michiganders, Kid Rock moved to Nashville. Ted Nugent moved to Texas. I joined the Army and went and got shot at just to get out of milquetoast, low-energy land. Wow. I'm telling you something right now. You guys got it going on. There's never a dull moment. You mix the crazy with the serious. You guys can have a show on weekdays. I'm telling you. You guys got it going on. Good energy, and don't let some keyboard tough guys dissuade you, because I am from the city of truth, Detroit.
Yeah.
And I call it like it is. And Reitma, if he's got his friends and his buddies on, I don't want him to catch strays because there's only 3 of us Lions fans in all of Texas. However, when he talk about energy, there's a proper level, and you guys have it.
Thank you.
Reitma will come on sometimes like that movie, that bear that took the cocaine.
Yeah, Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, so you guys just keep banging away, keep doing what you're doing. You guys could have a show during the week. You're that good.
Real quick, Jeff and Keller, and just so you know, the Venmo should hit right after the show's over. Look, you're a Lions fan. We've talked Bears, we've talked Chiefs, we've talked Cowboys. You guys are down to what? One lineman left, Penny Sewell, of that vaunted offensive line. We're going into year 2 of post Ben Johnson. I don't think Aaron Glenn was quite the loss everybody else thought it was. What's kind of the status quo? What's kind of the temperature right now? This Detroit Lion team.
Now, I am a diehard loyalist. However, I am a little concerned. I think that initially Brad Holmes set it up, and he had all those draft picks. We're drafting real high in the draft. You couldn't really go wrong. You get Penny Sewell. He did good with Gibbs and Jack Campbell, both all pros. I'm not worried about Dan Campbell. I'm worried about losing. We left our left tackle. We let him out, which is no loss. Our center, that hurt, losing Ragnow. We got Tate Ratledge, who played next to Sewell. We could slide him to center. The temperature, we got to get somebody across from Hutch. And both our all-pro safeties are going to be out for an extended period of time. So the advantage we have is we have the New England Patriots scenario this year. We sucked so bad this year that we were 4th place in our division. Means we have the last place schedule. So we'll probably be 12-5, 13-4 because we're playing absolute garbage. And we'll be on top, and then we'll see how it goes. Chicago, they got lucky. Caleb Williams is still Caleb Williams. Green Bay's a dumpster fire. All we had to do was win one game in the last 4 or 5 last year, and we would have been in the playoffs. Instead, you can't lose interior offensive line like that. So
no, you can't.
It all depends on what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell can do. If they get Lindenbaum and spend all that money, we'll be okay again. So either that or the guy you guys ran out of Dallas, Connor McGovern. He was a holding penalty every 2 plays in Dallas, and I watched him at Buffalo, and he was good. So we might get him, but
interesting.
It's wait and see.
We'll wait and see. Jeff, great call. Call into the show anytime. Like I said, I do Fan After Dark, so I know you're probably asleep by then, but you're welcome to call in anytime.
Shout out Detroit what? Detroit what?
Absolutely. Shout out to Detroit. Great stuff. Great stuff. Just clowned all over Michiganders, and I appreciate that. All right, let's go out to Felton. Is this Raymond Felton over in Garland?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But I love your energy, man. You keep me. I stay up past my bedtime just to listen to you guys.
Man, I appreciate that.
You're amazing on the radio. The energy. If they say you don't have energy, they're full of it. Then they can take a hard one.
I appreciate that.
The only thing that I have in Michigan is they can call a timeout. Thank you there, Chris Webber. Because I'm a Carolina fan.
Old school fan. If you know, you know.
Oh, and a Carolina fan with the Ray Felton drop.
Shout out to Dean Smith, by the way.
That one on you, yeah.
Shout out to Dean Smith. He's from he and I are both from the same hometown.
And Kansas is the greatest deer hunting country in the world. So anybody bags on Kansas, just tell them to go screw themselves.
Okay, I will. I tell them that anyway, but I can throw the deer hunting thing in now too. I did not know that. I did not know. I was today years old learning that.
Oh, y'all have the biggest, healthiest deer anywhere that I've seen. Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing. You'll get them up to about 160, 180 pounds. Yeah.
Felton, real quick, we're up against it, but I see that you're in Garland. My usual co-host at night, Blake Elliott, I love him like a foster son.
I know.
What would you say to him right now? Because he openly disparages Garland. I won't stand for it, but, again, he's a young man. What would you say in defense of Garland right now?
Garland's one of the most popular cities because it's where all the industry started in right around this Texas area. And plus, Bass Pro Shop, one of the greatest places to work for. So
okay. All right. Learned something new today.
Okay.
I did not know that.
Couple levels.
That's it. Felton, great stuff from you as always, my man. And again, call in anytime.
Have a great day, guys.
See you, man.
Same. You do the same. Two great calls, Jeff and Keller and Felton in Garland. All right, let's tell you what. We'll do a little bit. Are we going to jake off this hour?
We can whenever you want to.
Let's do this. Let's see. We need to do some CY. I want to get into some CY stuff with you. We've got some CY audio from the other day, so I want to get into that. Let's do that in the next
WBC.
segment. Okay, we'll talk some baseball because again, we are white guys. So let's talk baseball. at noon.
Might throw in some golf, really. Just tag out with that.
I'll let you lead that charge because ever since Tiger left, I could care less. But I can't get into it. It's just not the same. So let's talk some baseball. We'll do some fair foul at 12:40, and then we'll jake off at 1:20. How's that sound?
Love it.
All right.
I love it.
Little baseball talk coming up next. Don't go anywhere. 877-881-1053. 877-881-1053. That is the Franklin Injury Attorney text line. Plus, we've got some more NFL stuff to get into as well. So much more. Don't go anywhere. This is White Guy Radio.
The more time you give, the more
krld-fm and HD1, Dallas-Fort Worth.
An Odyssey sports station.
driven by our DNF krld-fm Leasing Studios. Thanks for turning it on and leaving it on. 105.3 The Fan.
All right, let's keep this bad boy rolling. It's White Guy Radio on a Saturday now afternoon here on your home of the Texas Rangers and Dallas Cowboys. 105.3 The Fan. Will Chambers, Fred Davis with Jacob Ray back in the Pimp Cup. That was my maiden voyage into Fatties on the phone. Got to say I enjoyed that. We've been talking so much that we've been like kind of all over the place, all over the board. And I think we need to come back with that to have more time with it.
What's that?
Because we were only able to take really 2 calls there.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
ready for more. Those were 2 good ones. I listen to you guys at night with the Fatties on the phone, and it's a great segment.
Yeah, no.
We're doing more of that.
It was, and again, it's one of those things where, and you know, you have to. I don't want to say you have to train the callers necessarily, but and look, Felton,
they know
and
what they're
Jeff
coming in for.
know what they were doing, and shout out to both of them. But to your point, and what I mean by that is that, you know, if you're not used to hearing calls in this time slot or in this area, then okay, people are, oh, okay.
And look, night has a different feel. I mean, when I've filled in and doing nights, it is a totally different ball game. It's almost as if you're like cheating behind or like you're doing things behind the boss's back almost.
Well, 9 times out of 10 they're not listening, so you don't have to worry about it. I mean, I say this not to. I mean, I think Tim's on a cruise right now, and I think Gavin's out doing what Gavin does. But, I mean, look, yesterday, Blake and I got into a heated Max Crosby, and I say heated. We just got into our normal back and forth when we get into something like this, where I think we took that second. So the second segment, ideally you get out between 37 and 38, somewhere around those. You know, actually probably 36 would be probably more appropriate. Mm-hmm. We got out at 46.
Yeah, that was like when we've been doing crosstalks. Yeah. I'd have to look up and be like, "There's producers back in the cup, just like waving us down."
Kevin,
you and I,
poor Kevin, he was so disheveled and just kind of defeated. And shout out to Kevin Walker.
Khaki Kev, babe.
We got back at 55. You guys got about a minute before we're going to have to send this back to break.
No. I tell you what, a little behind the curtain.
It's true.
Before we get into the Rangers here, and a terrific week out in spring training and surprise with KNC and G-Bag. But, so, this is how we kind of got here today with now Will Chambers, Fred Davis here with you, White Guys on the Radio. Since I had come back, it had been, Fan University going through college football season and all that still going on.
For you.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. That was really Sugar Ray of me.
That was a very emotional send-off you had.
Well, like I said at the time, I wasn't going away forever. I didn't anticipate I was going to be coming
Tears
back
were shed,
consistently.
People were crying.
Yeah.
Well, I love you.
All right. So, but it had been Sunday mornings, and it had been kind of killing me because, you're working Friday night late, Saturday night late, and then Sunday morning. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here from, your work schedule is crazy. So I had just said, and asked Tim and Gavin, I was like, hey, what are the plans moving forward? Is there any possibility? Because for 5.5 years, I did the Fan Jam. I did Saturday mornings. It was kind of like that. This was that
was your jam,
my lifestyle, so to speak. So it came back with Rangers baseball, now starting and consistently and like all this stuff. We're gonna, re-slot. We're gonna put you and Fred on Saturday mornings, and I'm like, I was jacked. I texted Fred. I'm like, hell yeah. Like, let's go. I love all my years with CA. Love him to death. He's like a brother to me. And it was so easy and so much fun doing a show. But you and I have only worked together mainly in like some crosstalks. We did a few shows. You and CA and I did a show together.
Say, the three of us have done shows together, me, you, and CA. We've done 2 or 3 shows together, the three of us.
And they've been a blast. So, I was pumped about this.
It's old head radio.
Yeah.
Unk status for all 3 of us.
Speaking of Unk, I got to say, it feels like our uncle, talking to our uncle, hearing from him from the Texas Rangers when CY talks to Chris Young
he's
with
our age,
G-Bag.
right?
Yeah.
Fun fact, and I think I've told this story before, and I'll tell it one more time because why not? New audience. So we know Chris Young played basketball at Princeton. And so one of my closest friends growing up, we're still friends, my boy Noah, shout out to my boy Noah K, who's now a professor over at Michigan State. He was he worked for student services at Princeton back at the same time that our boy CY was there. I worked security for a game at Princeton basketball and saw our boy CY. So if I'm ever on the phone with CY and get one of those, we fill in on a midday because I just find it interesting that every time I've been able to be on a show where CY was supposed to come on,
he's been evasive.
He doesn't even come on.
Not on.
No, he doesn't even. I mean, hell, forget being evasive. He just didn't show up.
His schedule.
He's
scheduler.
Well, no, but those are slots that he's.
I know.
Because Bruce Bochy,
that's my guy.
Talked with me.
Boch.
Matter of fact, I threw out Bruce Bochy. I threw out the hey Boch, what do we think about Louis Crivello as a closer? I hadn't thought about that. No,
he's the best.
Never
man.
happened.
I had so many great conversations with Boch. He and I talked bourbon for like 20 minutes, like the first day.
Man, we're gonna miss Boch. We're gonna miss Boch. Now, I'm excited about Skip Schumacher, though.
Yeah, same.
I'm excited about Skip Schumacher. I think this team is gonna snag one of those last wild card spots.
Okay.
I really, really do.
Well, something with Chris Young kind of grabbed your attention this week.
Well, I just look. I'm a middle-aged white guy, so I enjoy baseball. I'll tell you what, is there an 877-881-1053? And I don't think this has nothing to do with ethnicity. I think this is just I'm just asking black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever your persuasion. Do you get more into baseball as you get older? 877-881-1053, because I'm telling you right now, I get it. There's some of you, the Kane McCutcheons of the world, the khaki Kevin Walkers, who we've had to bust his chops a little bit over baseball, and I know our boy Jacob Ray likes to dabble, and Dylan, and our boy Dylan, he's a seam head. But for those of us sports fans, diehard sports fans, again, obviously I grew up a basketball fan, football, what have you. Baseball, yes, but I didn't fall in love with it. But I find myself, I can't decide if it's because I'm getting older or because we cover the Rangers and we're the flagship of the Rangers.
I think I don't know if I'm an outlier. So I think for a lot of people, maybe not you, for people like our age that grew up on baseball.
Yeah.
I loved baseball.
Yeah.
I went away from it right around the late 20-teens, 2017, 18, because the game had changed so much for me that I was absolutely bored to death by it.
Yeah.
It was,
Are you a Reds
strikeout.
fan? Did you grow up a Reds fan?
Cubs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Cubs and Reds. I mean,
Okay.
I liked them both, but I was a Chicago sports fan. But what I love the most about where the game is now, because my favorite types of baseball players were the real athletes.
Yeah.
My two favorites growing up were Eric Davis and Ryan Sandberg.
Okay.
Two really good athletes.
Absolutely.
Edie was a 30-50 guy.
Back when they stole bases.
Rhino was a 30-30. Yeah, but nobody stole bases anymore.
No.
But that's changed, and that's back, and that's one of the reasons why I'm such a huge Ellie De La Cruz guy, because he's just a freak athlete on every level. I just love watching him play. There have been other guys that I was like, oh, I want to see Yasiel Puig, right? Because they were just so dynamic. Shohei, that goes without
saying.
So that's where, I don't know if it's because I'm older, although I do I know where you're coming from with that, and I think that that's probably true in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
For me, I want to see athleticism on the field, and I want to see movement.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this forever when it comes to the NBA versus college basketball. You can watch a college basketball game, and teams can go on scoreless droughts. Both teams could for minutes at a time, because you get to the NBA, you leave them open, everybody can knock down a shot.
Absolutely.
But there's so much more movement in a college basketball game. There's more action where it's more slower paced as far as, you get in, not a lot of guys moving offensively, not like system sets and all that kind of stuff. On the baseball diamond, I want to see more movement, more action, and I think we're getting that now over the course of the last 5 years or so.
I just appreciate, again, and when you cover a team, look, my radio station is on 105.3 The Fan 92% of the time, okay? Probably closer to 94%, if I'm being honest. So, and again, being on at night, I like listening. Because there's just something to be said for, when you talk to the Matt Hicks and the Eric Nadells and with Jared and everybody. And
like Jared, I feel like I am getting everything I need to, like the information level that you get every time Jared Sandler is on the radio is like, I feel like I am totally informed.
Absolutely. And so, again, when you get to know these guys, when you get to, work with them on a regular basis, and we do the pre, not necessarily the pre and the post, but, when we do a crosstalk with them before a game and that sort of thing. So, it's just, and again, the Rangers are an interesting team. Again, you're 3 years removed, 2, 3 years, whatever it is, removed, 3 years removed from a World Series. And it's just been a very interesting case because you're trying to wrap your brain around the fact that how has this team not been better than what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. And so now
offensive disappointment, boom, right there.
Offensively, it's been a disaster.
That's not everything, but that's been the main
and my
thing.
thing with Chris Young has irritated me, and I go back to last year, and I've said this time and time again, is, okay, the Jock Peterson signing hasn't made you look good. I don't fault him for the Jake Berger signing or trade or whatever it was. I'm not, and I'm going to tell you right now, I think, and I'm predicting this, Jake Berger, 27 home runs. And I think Jake Berger gets you, I'm going to go with he hits 260, hits 27 home runs, and gives you around 90 RBIs in 2026.
Okay.
And I've said this, and I'll say it one more time, and to all my parents out there, number two, you had two things going on last year. One, he gets traded. Okay, so you got to acclimate to that, and that's fine, and he's a professional, and that's not, again, you're not asking anything that other athletes haven't done. But newborn baby, I think it was a toddler, 1-2 years old, something like that had to have, his daughter had to have open heart surgery last year, all right? I don't care who you are, when you're a parent, and you don't have to be a professional athlete, you can just be a regular Joe Schmuckatelli, whatever. When your kids aren't right, you aren't right. So you had him coming to a new town, all the stuff that was going on with this baseball team already, and on top of it, there's extra pressure on you. You're supposed to be the guy that's going to help bring these bats around, and your kid is dealing with something. I don't care who you are. I think his offseason was just not the same last year. He had a great interview with G-Bag on Wednesday, and I'm telling you right now, Jake Berger will be one of the bounce-back players of the year for this Texas Rangers team as to why they get that last wild card spot. So put that out there to say
all right,
that.
that's in the ether.
You like that? You like that? I'm putting that out there. And his daughter's doing a lot better, too. So to all the kids out there, we love each and every one of you. That's always good news.
So, I think that this is kind of an obvious one, but Wyatt Langford.
Oh, that's huge.
Consistent, the plate approach, hearing Jared talking about it, plate discipline, and then just honestly being healthy enough, to play throughout a season. Catalyst for the offense. Absolutely got to happen. And then
you remember what Brett Boone said about him, didn't you?
Yeah.
That this guy he's built like Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
Which is not crazy to think in the grand scheme of things, because that's all they've talked about.
Talk about another great interview with Sean, RJ, and Bobby.
I'm a huge Brett Boone guy. I love listening to Brett Boone week. I hope they bring him back this year. But he said that when this guy gets it together, he'll be an MVP candidate year in, year out. That's high praise. That's high praise. So we'll see what happens. But no, I'm with you. Look, you got to have Wyatt bounce back. You got to have Jake Berger bounce back. You got to have Josh Smith not fall off a cliff in the second half of the year, all right? Because that's one thing we've seen out of him the last two seasons. Yes, and I think he's a tremendous, fielder and what he gives you defensively. But I do worry a little bit about what he's going to do. And then Brandon Nimmo in right field. Yeah, I'm not worried about him as a hitter, but again, you're going to lose some of that fielding ability that you had with Adolis Garcia.
Can I, are we good on the Rangers? Because I got a question here.
Let's do it.
We're out of time. We're going to have to save it for later. But
it's very Blake of you.
I know. Have you checked the World Baseball Classic at all? By the way, just obliterating Brazil last night, early this morning, whenever the hell that was.
That was yesterday. Because that game was on while we were on.
Okay.
What was the final score? 15-5?
15-5.
Yeah.
Do you know who the United States has up next?
Chinese Taipei.
Great Britain.
Great Britain!
Did you know that have you ever heard of a baseball player from Great Britain?
No.
I haven't either.
No.
I just, look, it's the World Baseball Class, okay? But you think
Wayne
of...
Rooney. I think he's a soccer player.
Okay, yeah, that definitely. I mean, I didn't even know, on the way in this morning, I didn't even know they played baseball over there. I mean, it's kind of stupid to think that they play baseball probably everywhere, but it's such a small geographic country that plays a lot of soccer, and I was like, man, all right.
I would love to hear Michael Caine do play-by-play for baseball.
I'm here for it.
You know?
Yeah, there you go.
Either way.
Okay.
All right, where do you want to go next?
We are going to look at every angle of the Max Crosby deal and why, even though the Ravens gave up a lot, what it could mean for them that is absolutely huge. That's next here on The Fan.
Take us with you
And it's back to 105.3 The Fan. This segment's brought to you by the personal injury lawyers Frankel and Frankel. If you've been injured in a car or truck wreck, call Frankel first, 214 or 817-333-3333. With Frankel and Frankel, there is never an out-of-pocket cost. They only get paid when you win. Frankel and Frankel, the go-to car and truck wreck attorneys in Dallas.
Just killing it every time, Jacob. Absolutely smoking them. We're going to have a Jake off. When are we doing that? 115 here
120.
today?
120. Provided we get out on time.
Probably closer to 120.
123.
Just all that taken into consideration. White Guy Radio. Well, Chambers, Fred Davis, Jacob Ray back in the cup. Max Crosby's deal or dealt to the Baltimore Ravens and what that means for all involved. We were talking about the World Baseball Classic at the end there, and I'm just like, I didn't know that people native of Great Britain play baseball. Did not know that. That's next up for the United States. So a few people had texted in. Jacob had said, I think during the break, that he's like, the only one I knew there was Jazz Chisholm. And I'm like, oh, is he?
Chisholm.
He's Bahamian. Outfielder Matt Kaparniak is the only player on the Great Britain roster that's actually born in England. Everybody else is from the U.S. or the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Also, Matthew grew up in Massachusetts.
Yeah, he did. So he's a masshole.
There you go. Play a lot of cricket over there, as Atolo pointed out. So
I mean, that's their sport.
There you go.
That's their sport.
Who's the biggest loser today? Is it the Dallas Cowboys for not getting Max Crosby? Is it the Chicago Bears? Or is it Joe Burrow?
Oh, boy, I'll tell you what. I saw that clip. Poor Burrow.
Burrow now has 8 times this year Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, and now Max Crosby.
Mm-hmm.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, that division.
No wonder he wants to get the hell out of there.
I mean, you don't blame him. I mean, yeah, great. You spent $80 gazillion on wide receivers, but you spent $80 gazillion on wide receivers and quarterback, and you're hoping for the best with the other 19 guys on the football team there. If you're in the Natty with their, anytime you got your go-to food is just noodles and chili. That tells me all I need to know about what your culinary exploits. Tells me all I need to know about you as a city.
It is the most overblown discussion point when it comes to that city ever.
It's no different. Chili?
Well, I mean, you put chili on a hot dog, it's the same type of chili. Yeah, that's all it is.
That's it.
That's it, and it's delicious.
But somebody decided to do it on noodles.
Yeah,
that's disgusting.
I'll tell you what, they'll knock it till you try it.
Oh, so wait, are you advocating for the Skyline chili?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm a total 4-way guy.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. Onions.
Okay, so just real quick, just let me make sure I understand this, because I've only heard about it. I've never actually had it. And
yeah, that's what I mean.
But it sounds, but there's nothing when I hear, because part of food is it's visual, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and when
not much to look at.
I mean,
not much to look at.
I've been hearing that my whole life. But the idea that, hey, we're going to put noodles, I'm going to put chili on top of it, and what, cheese?
Yeah.
And onions. I mean, that doesn't sound like the most hobo-rific meal in the world. I mean, what are we eating next? Hillbilly stew?
Seriously, the pasta goes into some soups.
Yeah.
It's not too different from that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. That's why I always think it's so overblown.
If you ain't putting marinara on the noodles, what are we talking about?
Seriously. Listen to this.
Shout out to 2 guys from Italy. Have you been there, by the way?
No.
What?
I know.
You've been in Dallas how long?
Yeah.
And you haven't been to 2 guys from Italy?
Where is it?
Right off Webb Chapel and 635. There's a movie theater right there.
What is it? 2 guys in Italy?
2 guys.
2 guys? Where are we here?
Be careful how you say that. 2 guys from Italy.
2 guys, 1 Italy.
Man, I'm telling you right now, the chicken parm, absolutely incredible.
Okay. I have a very critical taste of Italian food, considering my stepfather of damn near 30-plus years.
Is Italian?
Sicilian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he makes
very
does he
good
make
cook.
his sauce from
he
scratch?
does. Yeah, the gravy is good.
Okay.
Gravy is good.
Hey, two
Just had
guys
some
from Italy.
rigatoni D last Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, all about it.
Give it a shot. And you and old girl.
Mm-hmm.
Get a couple glasses of vino.
Yeah.
You're out for $40.
Okay. Oh, always great. Do they have the like the red and white checkered plastic tablecloth?
The ambiance is very. You could get whacked.
Like Salazzo?
I'm telling you, man.
You're sitting there 1 second, all of a sudden one right to the forehead.
Hey, look, I sit with my back to the back. They got RC Cola.
Whoa, man.
That tells you all
yes.
you need to know about two guys from Italy. They got RC Cola.
635 in Webb Chapel.
635 in Webb Chapel. If you know, you know. I'll tell you who else is a big two guys from Italy fan. The Super Bowl winning scout,
Choppy?
Brian Broaddus.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Oh, I trust that.
And you know
I
Brian
trust that
Broaddus can
palate.
eat.
Yeah.
You know Brian Broaddus can eat.
Yeah. Strong palate.
That's it.
Very strong.
All right, I've digressed enough.
The Baltimore Ravens defense last year held a lead for almost twice as many snaps as the Raiders defense. So just think about that for a second. When you look at Max Crosby's numbers for last year and considering that they had all those leads, that could drastically change Baltimore. Like, remember, I think they started 1-5. It was so awful, but it was so awful defensively, and you just could not figure it out. And that could change the whole AFC. And as much as I have sat here today and said that I believe it was the right move for the Cowboys not to go that extra step and do the 2-1s where it looked like they were heartbroken. According to Jeremy Fowler, we played the audio earlier. It was on SportsCenter this morning saying that they really, really wanted him, and it was going to be a first, a second, and a veteran player. We heard some rumblings that might have been Osa. That would be a great deal. The 2-1s was a bridge too far for me.
I agree.
That said, the impact he would have had on this defense would be immense, and what they're getting in Baltimore is going to be incredible. And I think it changed the fortune of, that team in the AFC.
Now, and we discussed this with our boy George Reister last night, and I forgot he used to be on Mad Dog Radio back in the day, and of course now he does a podcast called the Unafraid Podcast, and spent 6 years in the National Football League once upon a time. The question you have is, all right, we've seen a shift because the NFL is the ultimate copycat league, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where, okay, Mike McDonald wins a Super Bowl. And again, and look, you had...
Yeah.
Because
no, it's not going to happen.
Well, here, all I'll say is this.
I don't think it will.
All I'll say is this. If C.J. Stroud doesn't crap the bed, you might have should have had, a Seattle versus Houston Super Bowl last year. All right, if C.J. Stroud was worth a salt, was worth a damn, right?
God,
and
what has happened to him?
Again, you've got. I mean, and look, I understand Nick Caserio is going to bat for his guy. That's the guy he drafted. But I'm with you. All right, how he went from a dude that we all thought, because I was like,
the next dude.
For when you thought about how the Texans went from Deshaun Watson and then boom, you're going to get C.J. Stroud in not so many years. It's like, wow, that's a hell of a bounce back and that's, I mean, again, that's the epitome of, how you team build. Why has Green Bay been able to be so successful over the last 30 years? Because you went
pretty
from
simple
Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. Okay, so that says all you need to know right there. Look no further than your own team.
And by the way, let me ask you this: in all of those years, how many times did they have a dominant edge rusher? And that was once.
To Green Bay?
Yeah. It's Reggie White.
Reggie White,
and that's it.
Hell, you won a Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
But no, to your point. So look, look no further than Chicago. Right? I mean, you guys get competent quarterback play, and suddenly you're making it to an NFC Championship game, or damn near to an NFC Championship game. So, if you're Baltimore, a team that's always been built on defense, the one thing we know, and what's our GM's name over there? Eric Acosta or something like that.
Yeah, DaCosta.
Eric DaCosta. I mean, they've done a great job of always being able to, you asked about the Chiefs earlier, do they rebuild? No, they're trying to retool. And that's one thing that they've been able to do really well in Baltimore. Going from Joe Flacco to Lamar Jackson. Now, I think we all have questions about, Lamar Jackson. Can he put it together? Because, I think the biggest question is how much more time does Lamar Jackson have?
Yeah. It is a good question because of the fact that, look, part of what makes him so dangerous is, he's become such a great passer, but it's his legs. And anytime that is a big element of who you are as a quarterback, there's always going to be questions as to how long is that sustainable? How many hits? It could be one hit that changes everything. One hit could change it for anybody. But how many more times, the more opportunities you have and put out there to get smacked around. And it's one of the things looking at Caleb Williams last year where you're like, okay, and I said this about Dak Prescott for years. I don't worry so much about Dak running because he was sturdy, right? That you don't imagine, it's not like Jaden Daniels, like a slender frame out there. You feel comfortable with it. But even Dak, obviously, with the ankle injury and all that, that's the biggest question I have with Lamar. But the window is absolutely right now. And if you have a strong enough roster, then this is the type of move that you can absolutely make. I don't know if the Cowboys lost too much from their defense from 2024. That was it. It's not Micah. It's Micah and DeMarcus Lawrence and Jordan Lewis. Yeah. And the fact you didn't have Overshown throughout the year. You mentioned earlier Malik Hooker missing. They missed so many players that it wasn't just the fact that you didn't have Micah here.
Well, and let's not pretend that, you've had zero continuity coaching-wise. All right? I don't care who you are. 4 defense coordinators in 4 years is a lot. Yeah. Right? And at that point, it was 3.
And some of them weren't very good.
And some of them weren't very good at all. And so now you hope with Christian Parker. And the reality is, and I shout out Brian Broaddus, second mention to him this segment, for asking Christian Parker when they talked to him at the Combine, is the next D coordinator on the staff? And Christian Parker didn't miss a beat and said, yeah, he absolutely is. Because if Christian Parker does what I think we all think he's going to do and lifts this defense up the way because again, you can't get any worse. You literally cannot get worse. If he makes this defense serviceable, and again, they don't have to be great, just make them serviceable, and suddenly this team looks like a formidable defense in 2 years, he's going to get poached somewhere else.
And I think this is where you were going earlier, and I kind of cut you off there, didn't mean to, but Mike McDonald, having a defensive coach, winning a Super Bowl, is that going to be the trend?
So my point was with that, and thank you. But you got Mike McDonald, and so what they're doing with Jesse Minter, and I was going to say with the Texans, because look, DeMeco Ryans, again, he's shown, all right, if you can get competent, and I just mean, again, you don't have to, because let's call it what it is. Sam Darnold was not great in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Okay? He really wasn't. He was just okay. In fact, if Drake May hadn't pissed down his leg from the opening drive, because Drake May did not look right from the get-go.
Right.
Okay? And maybe he was hurt. I don't know, but Drake May looked horrific in the Super Bowl and really didn't look good in the playoffs, but we're not telling you anything you don't already know. But you've now had 2 coaches in DeMeco Ryans who built the Super Bowl caliber defense. You got a Super Bowl winning coach in Mike McDonald, and you got Jesse Minter who comes from that now Jim Harbaugh coaching tree. You give him essentially his Tank Lawrence. All right, because we all agree, and again, I'm giving Tank Lawrence the deference in the sense that he was everything you needed him to be in Seattle, right? Hungry, professional, good pass rusher.
That's what he was here,
and that's what he was good. That's what he was here, right? Take that and multiply it by 5 or whatever you think the multiplier is, because I think we all agree that, Max Crosby's a little bit better than Tank Lawrence. I don't think I'm saying anything out of pocket by saying that.
He's a force multiplier.
Okay, so you're taking Tank Lawrence and adding a better version of that and adding that to a team that already has some solid linebackers, already has one of the best safeties in the NFL. Oh, by the way, you got Mike Green, who you drafted last year, who got off to a good start. All right, now he gets to learn and and play opposite of Max Crosby. So now you got Jesse Minter. Oh, by the way, I think we all agree Lamar Jackson's probably a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't think I'm overstepping my bounds by saying that. So, I mean, why can't this team be Seattle 2.0 next year?
It could be. I think, and I still harken back to the fact that you have the pass rush is incredibly important, but you look at these teams that have won the Super Bowl over the last decade, and you can even go longer, none of them had a dominant pass rusher. They had a dominant pass rush. And I think that's important. And when you're putting it in all those resources into one guy, is that really something that is good from a team building aspect? That's the biggest question moving forward, and the Cowboys sidestepped that by not going at, not only having to give up 2 1s, but then paying Max Crosby on top of it. All right.
All right, you know what time it is. Coming up next, we haven't done it in typical Fred Davis style, and I got to give a tip of the cap to my boy Jacob Ray, who channeled his Fred Davis style reading when he did his read the other night as part of whatever segment it was they were doing. Coming up next, let's do a little fair or foul. God forbid World War III starts. What tier would DFW be in as far as incoming strikes? Lots to get to. Don't go anywhere. Fair or foul next.
Hey, Tello, Sean, and RJ here with the official coffee
Chevrolet in Grapevine, #1 Chevy dealership in the world. 3 years straight, they've got more new Chevys than anyone, all priced to sell. Silverados, Tahoes, Blazers, Malibus, Equinox, and more. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com. This is Texas. This is Classic Chevrolet. Together, let's drive, relax, and enjoy the difference. Based on new Chevy registrations 2023 through 2025.
You know what that music means. Can we get this button to work, for God's sakes? From the 214, Fred, just between us guys, you putting raisins in potato salad? I said, I take my potato salad very seriously. Never. First of all, I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't until you guys had brought it up and it spilled into our show a few weeks ago.
I think it's disgusting. Raisins have no business in potato salad. Shout out to my long dead now great aunt Neva, who just, I mean, I'll tell you what, Neva.
That's why you don't hear much anymore.
Let me tell you something about my aunt Neva, all right? And you kids today will never appreciate this. Your aunt showing up at the pool party with a dog rocket, a Cool Filter King, or a Virginia Slim hanging out the side of her mouth with a big old tub of potato salad in flip-flops and a swimsuit, walking up, party's here.
Yeah.
Party's here, okay? Cigarette, her husband, Uncle Larry, recovering alcoholic, good dude, Larry and Neva. What about got wiped out by what was that back in Enron?
Really?
Enron back in the late 90s.
Damn.
I'm dating myself. Yeah, because
Wow.
remember a lot of those teacher pensions got wiped out.
Yeah.
From Enron back in the late 90s.
Well, this is White Guy Radio.
This is White Guy Radio. This is White Guy Radio. So so between us, I am not putting and like I said, so Neva had. I mean, again, to this day, as long as I live, I've not had any potato salad even close to that. And maybe it was the vibes and the ambiance.
Probably.
Because and not to say that it wasn't good, because it was, but. And look, you all know, 877-881-1053, everybody's got that family member that's known for something. Okay? Now, I don't know if family reunions are quite... I know they're big in the black community. I know they're big in the Hispanic community. I've never heard of an Asian family reunion. Okay? Not to say they don't exist, but I know y'all aren't making T-shirts for them. All right, let's get that straight.
Mm-hmm.
But my family, we used to have a big family reunion, and then once the matriarch and the patriarch, a.k.a. Grandma and Grandpa, pass away, that's it. We ain't had one since. We have not had one since. So who's your aunt or uncle or any family member that is known for a particular food item that when so-and-so brought it, when Aunt Neva brought the potato salad, game over.
It was on.
Game over. Get in line, okay? One scoop, no double dipping, put that spoon down. It's time for the next person to get their Aunt Neva's potato salad.
Real quick, listen to this. I just saw this tweet from Jake Laser. Sean Payton called me so fired up. The Raiders traded Max Crosby and even just texted Max saying he's offering to pay a private plane one-way flight to Baltimore. Happy to see him out of the division. Also added, you're an inspiration to watch and compete against, but he's jacked up to have him no longer in the division.
He's probably jacked up to have Davis Webb actually calling plays and getting them in a timely fashion as well. AFC West should be interesting this year. It should absolutely be interesting this year. All right, fair or foul, that music, you know what time it is. We're about to read a scenario here, and you decide if it's fair or foul. Obviously, with all the geopolitical firestorm going on in the world right now, a lot of people are hinting that World War III may be on the horizon, depending upon what Twitter feed you follow. Analysts and defense researchers don't have one official system, but when discussing nuclear or strategic strike risk in the U.S., they often describe about 4 to 5 broad tiers of targets based on military importance. Think of it as a levels of priority, not necessarily exact probabilities. Tier 1 is the highest risk. This includes cities such as D.C., Virginia, where the Pentagon is, Laramie County, Wyoming, the air base, and Ward County, North Dakota, another pertinent air base. Tier 2, major military and naval bases, cities such as San Diego, Navy base, Honolulu, Pearl Harbor, and Norfolk, Virginia, another major naval station. Tier 3, defense industry and logistic hubs. Cities with major defense manufacturing plants or large transportation infrastructure fall into a mid-level risk category. Cities such as
DFW,
Fort Worth, Lockheed Martin, Dallas, DFW Airport, major world hub, and Huntsville, aerospace and missile production. Fair foul out of 5 tiers, Texas has a relatively moderate Tier 3 risk of being targeted site in the U.S. if World War III were to happen.
That's fair. I think this is from a very, I don't know. I don't want to say ignorant, but I mean, from somebody that doesn't, just at surface level, you go, okay, the ones that you mentioned in the top 2 tiers, outside of one specific location, they were all where? On a coast.
Yeah. Or an island.
Or an island.
Or an island.
Coastal, if you will.
Coastal.
I figure being where we are located in pretty much the center of the United States, by the time we know one is coming, we're going to get it before it gets here.
Yeah. Ideally. Theoretically.
That's what I would think.
Yeah.
But the fact that there are a lot of defense contractors, so having them below it, I would say, yeah, that's why I would have it as fair.
Sleeper cells.
Okay.
Watch out
That's
for the
fair.
sleeper cells, people.
Yeah.
Head on a swivel. Fair or foul? What say you, Jacob Ray?
I'm going to say fair as well. I will say, though, we do a lot of Lockheed Martin manufacturing in Texas.
Yeah.
Which is
Right. Well, that
big
was
deal.
mentioned. That was
Big deal.
mentioned.
Yeah. So
Fort Worth.
if they hit that, I mean, that's a big deal. But I mean, if it depends what they're trying to do. If you're trying to take out all of our artillery, then well, probably not going to go here. If you just want to cause chaos, like it seems like that's what's going on.
Exactly.
I mean, anywhere's up for grabs. Any big city, and Dallas definitely fits that mold.
I mean,
so.
I could see it as a plot line in 24, having it here with sleeper cells, suitcase nukes.
Khaki Kev listening in. Shout out to him. White Settlement is probably on there. Now, I think they probably got their own militia in White Settlement. So I think we could probably unleash hell out of White Settlement. So I think they're standing by ready to go. Shout out to White Settlement. I'm more worried about the nuclear plant in Glen Rose.
Fair.
Something to think about. Nuclear fallout. Don't want them third eyeballs. Lose all your hair.
I would say season 2 of 24.
You know, I never was able to get into that show. I just felt like a lot of people just running around screaming. Tier 4, major economic and population centers. This includes New York City, L.A., Chicago, and H-Town on Tier 4. And then Tier 5, cities located in sparsely populated states such as Vermont, Maine, Nebraska, and Garland.
Hold on. Did you say New York City was in Tier 4? Was that part of it?
Negative.
Oh, okay. All right.
I said Vermont, Maine, and Nebraska.
Oh, no. Which was with Chicago and Houston?
Tier 4.
Who else was in there?
New York, L.A., Chicago, and Houston.
See, that's a big surprise.
That's Tier 4.
Because New York and L.A. being huge
Yeah, but you're just killing a bunch
population
of people.
Yeah.
You're just killing a bunch of people. Not that there's anything, not that that's okay. That's okay.
A lot of our financial
Louisville is also in Tier 4. I don't know if you guys knew that or not.
Does anything with
is that right?
So,
does anything with like NASA and space have anything to do with Houston? Probably, like taking out some of the space manufacturing and all that stuff.
So we can't shoot them from space.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a major population center. So I mean, that's less cool. I mean, it doesn't mention space on here, but we can throw that in there.
I would not throw that in there. Yeah,
you want to?
Totally.
Tier 6, space. Space. So just space as a whole
in general?
is worried.
Bomb space.
God forbid, because we might be all headed to space if this thing kicks off the way we think it is.
I think that's probably when we get closer to World War Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
Is when we'll have to worry about
We're all
the space
heading out
part
to space into Fiero.
Yeah.
I've never been a Fast
if you're
and
going
Furious
down
guy,
the lineage
but
of
that's
like
crazy.
World War I, World War II, World War III,
Pontiac Fiero,
then with each sequel, I think it's got to be closer to the 6, 7 range.
I just never got into the Fast and Furious.
No,
I just couldn't do
Ditto.
it. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You a Fast and Furious guy?
Never watched a single movie.
Wow. Where are you at on Star Wars, real quick? We got about 30 seconds.
I mean, huge.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who's the best character in Star Wars?
Character?
Yeah. What's the Blob? What's his name?
Jabba.
Jabba.
Yeah.
Jabba.
I don't know. The character thing is always that gets totally nerdy.
Yeah.
I mean, I just go by movie, and honestly, Rogue One.
Ports.
And oil and gas.
Oil and gas.
Yeah. I just dropped a hot take in there. I don't know if anybody else is going to go with it. Best Star Wars movie is Rogue One.
Rogue One.
It wasn't bad. That's a great movie. It's a great movie.
877-881-1053. Do you think Rogue One is the hottest? I don't know. I have no idea. I've never seen a Star Wars movie. So if Sweet Lily C says that Rogue One is the best one, I'm more of a Return of the Jedi guy. Mm-hmm. Okay, Princess Leia, Harrison Ford.
More will, I think, if
Jabba the Hutt.
The super Star Wars people are all going to go Empire, just because they had the greatest, plot twist in the history of movies.
Luke, I am your father.
Yeah,
that's a pretty intense one.
Speaking of Luke, did Luke prove me wrong in what I said last week by what he did last night? That's next here on The Fan.
Our goal is to have you winning every sports debate
Cowboys football. KRLD-FM and HD1, Dallas, Fort Worth. Let's go, Cowboys.
An Odyssey sports station.
Driven by our D&M Leasing Studios. Thanks for turning it on, leaving it on. 105.3 The Fan.
Final hour on this Saturday afternoon. White Guy Radio consisting of Will Chambers, Fred Davis. We got Jacob back. We got a Jake-Off coming up in about 15 minutes or so. Yeah? Well, we'll see how this goes. We'll see how late on time / late we get. We got Rangers coming up here, too. Top of next hour as they take on the Giants. Real quick, some NFL news over the last 15 minutes or so coming down that the Bills and center Connor McGovern have agreed to a 4-year, $52 million deal. That keeps him off the free agent market. We mentioned him earlier. In fact, I think a fatty called in on McGovern. Wasn't he mentioned in one of the fatties on the phone? Or am I just mixing up segments on?
Yeah, that was the
whenever Connor McGovern was brought up. Yeah, so multiple teams were going to be looking at McGovern, but Buffalo moved quickly, and they're keeping him. Luka had a night last night. We'll have more on that in a second.
Man, you know him and his girl split.
I did not.
Yeah, did you hear about this, Jake?
I saw the Madeline Klein rumors.
Yeah, apparently they're dating.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and his Slovenian princess.
They were engaged,
I don't know how you
right?
say Dunsky in Slovenian. Dunsky? But, yeah, Gonzo.
It's good diction there.
He played pretty well last night, so, man, it's a good thing.
I mean, life is... come on. This guy, look at him. He went from being a family man in Dallas to now he's kicked his wife to the curb.
It's absolutely falling apart.
I mean, what's going on? Cooper Flagg would never.
Never. So I said this last week. I was going to get into a little thing. I'll throw it in just as a side thing. Charlotte, they're 16-4 in their last 20 games. They got a good thing brewing there. Con Knippel, who's now taken over because Cooper Flagg, missing some time, and Knippel's been incredible, looking like the likely rookie of the year. Man, shout out to Charlotte for the first time since Grandmama actually being relevant in the NBA. LaMelo Ball,
you know,
4-point play, babe. So Luka Doncic last night had 44 points in 3 quarters. As the Lakers defeat the Pacers 128-117. Rick Carlisle.
The Pacers are terrible.
Yeah. And Rick Carlisle talking after, of course, coaching him here with the Mavericks that, he's going to win an MVP. He's a great player, all that. I had brought up on last week's show with Eric that it's fair. I'm not taking anything away from, you want to hate Nico and hate the trade. The trade was awful. Okay? It was awful. I said this from the very beginning. I didn't necessarily have a problem with trading Luka. It was just what you got in return. Mm-hmm. And your whole belief that you were going to build, with Anthony Davis and being defensive, all that kind of stuff. You're just like, bro, stop. But I think the Mavericks fans should all collectively be absolutely thrilled that they're building a team around Cooper Flagg and not Luka Doncic. And the fact that I believe Luka is never going to win a title. I think he, maybe
take. I mean,
maybe he heard me say that, broke up with his fiance, and then dropped 44 on Indiana.
It's Indiana, so let's not get too excited about it. But never win a title. That is, well, I'll qualify it and say he'll never win a title with Rob Pelinka as his
that's
general
pretty,
manager.
That's pretty fair.
Okay,
not necessarily a scouting. He's just doesn't have a scouting background. He was an agent, and he makes moves like an agent.
Yeah. Yeah, and now you could argue is LeBron holding this team hostage still? Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, a little. I think he won't be there next year. And the way that they're constructed, it is kind of LeBron. Well, look, LeBron is holding them back a little bit just because of his age and, not being able to move, like he used to.
From the 832.
By the way, I didn't play in that one last night, excuse me.
817
LeBron was out.
Take.
Yeah, I know. See, this is what I got. I know.
love it.
This is where the show started last week, and it started out with like the hate, so much hate, and then the love for Toxic. So we kind of came full circle with all that.
Luka is Carmelo. I've always thought Luka's game resembled more James Harden to me.
That's what I was saying last week. And James
I've
Harden,
always said that.
I've said this for years, and you will identify with this because of certain players that I love that played at Kentucky because I love championship pieces.
Yeah.
Like guys like Cason Wallace. Cason Wallace is not a star. Tyler Ulis, not a star.
Right.
But they do the things, they play the role that you absolutely have to have that you know is a role that's played on a championship team. And Luka is James Harden. And that's not a championship piece.
Well, okay, but here's where I'm going to push back on that. And I say he's James Harden-esque in the sense that he's an offensive juggernaut and not great on defense. Now,
he's not even there on defense.
He doesn't care. That said, he's far better in the playoffs than James Harden is.
Oh, and he's a far better player than James Harden. And all due respect to Harden, this is the point I was trying to make last
James
week.
Harden had a 3-year stretch with Mike D'Antoni where he might have been the best player in the world.
Yeah,
offensively,
absolutely.
Now,
but that's where I still think Luka is a better player than James Harden, and that's the kind of respect I have for his offensive game. But he miss me with this guy cares about winning when he acts the way he does on the floor. And he does that. That is not winning a championship.
I think two things can be true at the same time. I think Luka defensively, and I think, and again, I think it's not a coincidence that he's been pretty clear about, or excuse me, he's been pretty good, rather, about not complaining to the referees for the first year of him being in L.A.
That's over.
The honeymoon's over. I think there's friction behind the scenes with him and LeBron.
Well, and he and J.J. Redick. I mean, you saw that exchange.
I don't read into that as much. I mean, look, he played with Jason Kidd.
Well, right, but that's part of what Luka is just that way in general. He is with the refs. He is with his coach.
I don't read the him and JJ getting at each other, sniping each other as that much. I think I look at it more of, you've got LeBron. That's just a weird situation. It's just a weird dynamic with him, Austin Reeves, and LeBron. Three dudes that when your three best players play no defense.
Right.
Okay, like zero defense.
Yeah.
All right. That's why
desperately need a 3-and-D.
You need something, right? Yeah. You got rid of Dorian Finney-Smith. That was an issue. That was a problem, right?
Yeah, no rim protector because Ayton is just
DeAndre
a ghost.
Ayton is awful, okay? Yeah. And is probably going to be out of the league here in a year or two. Marcus Smart, shout out to Flower Mound, is not the same Marcus Smart that we saw and appreciated 3, 4, 5 years ago, right? So it's just to your point, it's a very weirdly constructed basketball team. I think this offseason is going to be the tail of the tape as to how this team moving forward. But, and then, like I said, where there's smoke, there's fire. You look at what's going on off the court when it comes to Luka Doncic. Nobody gave two bleeps about Luka's personal life here in Dallas. I mean, he had his girlfriend that he's been with forever. He had his little kid or whatever, and he had his cars he'd pull up with. He'd wear his little cowboy boots, and oh, it's cute. Now he's banging, allegedly, one of the hottest women on the planet, okay? And while that sounds cool, and I'm not saying it's not, but
I think he's going Tyler Hero on it.
Okay, now all of a sudden, the mother of your children has removed you from Instagram. You are now a talking point for things outside of basketball. That wasn't an issue for you here in Dallas. Now it is in L.A.
Shout out to my boy Hans. He just texted, Robert Horry is that guy. 7 chips.
I mean,
gotta feel that.
Robert Horry is that guy. Big Shot Bob. They don't call him that for nothing.
Spurs championship level. It's so hard because last night they came back from 25 down, and they're talking about Wemby as having the type of like Michael Kobe mentality of like absolutely maniacal about winning. Mm-hmm. That's the way he is behind the scenes. I don't know if we've ever seen a team that has literally gone from not even playing in a playoff series together to an NBA Finals or let alone winning one. But damn, he changes the game so much that I have a hard time writing it off. Not to mention, what you're going up against in the West, because the Denver Nuggets, damn, how unlucky of a team are you this year? What is that? You just get Aaron Gordon back. You didn't have your team together for the entirety of the year, and then in the second quarter, Jamal Murray steps on Jokic's ankle, and they're, going to do an assessment today to find out, what the damage is. Like, dang, they're snake bit.
Let's see. From the 8469, so did Luke have a choice in going to L.A.? Look, and I know this is maybe hard for some of you guys out there. Listening is fundamental. Okay, I get it that you can read what you want and take it in, all right? But when you listen to us, okay, no one's saying that he wanted to go to L.A., and I'm not saying that he's Marcus Smart, 817, okay? So why don't you put your beer down, all right? Why don't you get a Q-tip?
Look, it's an emotional attachment to Luka.
I get it. I totally understand it, but again, it's okay to be critical of Luka, people. Okay, it's a-okay. We're not saying he's not one of the best offensive players and one of the best basketball players in the world. But again, the roster around him is poorly constructed. Yeah, and look, would we take him back in Dallas in a heartbeat? Abso-freaking-lutely. I know I would.
I will. At what expense? What is the cost?
He's going to be a free agent. I mean, you don't have to trade him. I mean, they're not going to trade him back.
Yeah.
He'll be a free agent in 2 years.
The
Luka and Cooper?
Well, what? That would be pretty crazy. But the fact is that you're going to, if you're the Lakers or you're another team, you're building around Luka.
Yeah.
So that necessarily, I don't know if that could work.
What, Luka and Cooper?
Well, you could initially because of where Cooper salary-wise is, but I don't think that you can really do that long term. Look, if we're talking next year, okay, I'll eat my words and I'll be like, yeah, that could be a huge change. But the fact is, I look at it to where if you're building around Luka, the ceiling to me is what he did with the Mavericks and going to the NBA Finals and then getting smoked. Yeah. Unless you have a season like you do right now going up against the Eastern Conference where you're like, who's the best team? And oh, by the way, the Mavericks faced maybe the best team in the Eastern Conference. I know Detroit's has the best record, but Detroit, unless Cunningham plays like an MVP every single night, how are they going to get scoring elsewhere? So Boston, getting Tatum back, might just be that team. But, I'm not sold on the Knicks or anything like that. But that is where I just have a hard time looking at the way that Luka approaches the game and being like, that's a championship piece. I don't see it. As insanely skilled and as great of an offensive player as he is, I don't know when that has ever won a championship.
I don't disagree. Rudy Gobert, Miles Bridges, Desmond Bane all recently got far better returns for a fraction of Luka's abilities. Correct. Let's see. 817, you're just not smart. Just stop texting, okay? Just stop texting. Why don't you put your phone down for the day and go get a life. Jake, where are you taking us?
Yeah, we got a college basketball edition. I got your little baby Google Gemini to simulate the Sweet 16 all the way down to the Elite or the Final Four. I got that next on 105 Through the Fan.
When your friends say, hey, did you hear? You can proudly say, I heard it on the Fan. Keeping you sports informed with some quality laughs along the way. Turn it on and leave it on. 105.3 The Fan, the Odyssey app, iHeartRadio app, and TuneIn app.
Hey, Tolo, Sean and RJ here with Base Power. In Dallas-Fort Worth, spring doesn't just mean warmer weather and baseball. It means storm season, power outages. That hits fast, leaves neighborhoods in the dark every single year. Storms knock out power across DFW, and the time to prepare is now.
Base Power includes whole home battery backup with your electricity plan, so when the grid goes down, your home stays on. And it's a fraction of the cost of generators. When you switch with the Fan offer, they'll cover your termination fee up to $250. See if your home qualifies at basepowercompany.com/thefan.
Today,
driver, start your engine!
The NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series screams into action only on the CW.
Let's go!
It's pure raw racing where chaos strikes without warning.
Look out! Big crash!
And where nothing is promised, not even next week.
We don't have a lot of chances to win. That's what's frustrating.
The NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
From Phoenix, today at 5:30 p.m. on CW33.
Feeling a chill? Those cold spots mean leaking windows, and that's money literally flying out the windows every month on your energy bills. At Best Buy Windows and Siding, we've got the solution. 10 single-hung, energy-efficient windows for just $59.50. Stop wasting money on high electricity bills and start saving today. We offer transparent pricing, no gimmicks, and a lifetime warranty on every single window. Call 469-WINDOWS or visit
We're taking off in just a minute. Before we do, White Guy Radio, Will Chambers, Fred Davis, Jacob Ray back in the cup. Some more NFL news and what has been a busy Saturday. Sorry, my microphone decided to walk away from me. The Eagles are re-signing defensive tackle Jordan Davis to a 3-year, $78 million extension with $65 million guaranteed. That will be the most ever for a nose tackle. So there you go. They had three defensive tackles that were extension eligible. Jalen Carter, Moro Jomo, and Jordan Davis. They got Davis done. So there you go.
I mean, that's my play cousin, Jordan Davis. I'm hoping, for my birthday, he hooks me up with a little something. We'll see.
That's right.
We'll see.
Shout out 877-881-1053. Give a little happy birthday to
shout out
Fred, who has 4-5 tomorrow.
Coming back like Jordan, rocking the 4-5. Strangely enough, I've got a cousin. My cousin's son is named Jordan Davis, but he's a 6-foot white kid.
Yeah.
So not the same.
Yeah.
We are not the same.
No, not the same bank account, that's for sure.
No.
Let's send it back into the Pimp Cup.
Yeah, New Guy Jake, that's original.
Our buddy Jake, or is it Jacob? Who knows?
Jacob Ray, a.k.a. New Guy Jake.
Where's my money?
That intro can only mean one thing, gentlemen. It's time to Jake off on a Saturday afternoon. And today's topic, Google Gemini. You know, I was very bullish to this idea. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest. I was a ChatGPT guy. I've always been big on AI, but I was a chat guy. And Fred, you turned me.
That's right.
Google Gemini is now my one seed of AIs.
Now,
I will say, yes.
Have you dabbled with Claude yet?
Oh, what's that?
You don't know about Claude?
I don't know what Claude is.
You don't know about Claude?
I know Grok.
No, Claude. It's the Anthropic's, LLM. So check it out, Claude.
There's a lot of things that were just said that I don't know at all what they mean.
I mean, this guy runs an AI podcast.
That's
so
right. Check out the Power Connect. Give it a follow. You will be glad you did. No, check out Claude. Me and Blake had because he deleted ChatGPT off his phone and just downloaded Claude.
Ooh,
really?
Yeah. That's dedication.
Yeah, no, he's because remember, okay, so Claude was the one that went in and hijacked the Mexican government. Took all their files and people's information, all that kind of stuff, went in. And so the U.S. government said, hey, I think it was something along the lines of their, we want you to stricter safety or less safety. I can't remember what it was. And Anthropic said no. ChatGPT, a.k.a. OpenAI, they decided to sign. So the U.S. government dropped Anthropic in all their government contracts. They ended up increasing by 295% on the, I want to say, downloads on the Apple, what am I trying to say here? The Apple App
iOS?
Center,
Absolutely.
right?
Oh.
So a lot going on. A lot of people are fleeing ChatGPT to go over to Claude.
Do you have to pay for it?
You can get the initial free version, but it runs out after a while. I pay for ChatGPT Gemini, and I'm tinkering with Claude as we speak to see if maybe that's the route I want to go. Because I will say from a writing standpoint, and I don't use it verbatim, but I like the ideas and kind of the proofreading, you get better, less AI-y sounding stuff from Claude than you do from Gemini or from ChatGPT.
Okay. I feel like I've got a good relationship with my ChatGPT.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
That's the key. You got to build a relationship with them. And then they know you.
Well,
it's
they'll
so
gaslight
weird.
you,
But
though,
again, I
too,
have
and
no
that's what
idea.
Blake was saying.
Fred, I just
really?
think you're prone to being gaslit by anything. Even humans, AIs, anything. I think it's just you, man.
You can kiss my ass, number one. That was what Blake said, not me. I said it's like anything else. And look, this is an AI professor that I spoke to from MIT. So, take that for what it's worth, boys and girls.
Name drop there.
At Sam Ransbottom.
Title drop.
Hey, Sam Ransbottom. If you know, you know.
Ransbottom.
But he said, just tell you what his name is. He said and again, this is not an original thought. It's all about the prompts. Okay, you have to. You want better responses? Give it better questions.
Okay.
So think about that.
That's what we would say to anybody
Anything in life.
sitting in these chairs.
Anything.
That's right.
So fix the prompts, people. Fix the prompts.
Speaking of prompts, I prompt to Google Gemini. I asked them to predict the Sweet 16 in March Madness this year, which they did, and I followed up with that list, predict the Elite Eight and Final Four. So here's what we got. In the East region, we've got Duke, St. John's, Florida, and Alabama. Now, I'm very high on Florida. I think they're my pick to win the national championship this year, just because I think a team with that's been there, done that. I think they can do that. Them along with UConn are my two favorites. In the West, we've got Arizona, Gonzaga, Michigan State, and St. Mary's.
Hold on. We're going a little fast here.
Yes.
The East, I'm going to poo-poo St. John's here.
Okay. You don't like Ejiofor?
I think St. John's can go vacant offensively. And you're going to lose a tournament game early. That's what happens. That is a quintessential team that loses a tournament game earlier than they should because they can't get a bucket for 7-8 minutes.
That's tough.
As you were.
I don't hate that at all. West, we got Arizona, Gonzaga, Michigan State, St. Mary's.
Michigan State is kind of sneaky.
They are.
Oh, I'll tell you right now, man, they are a sneaky lot.
They've got Michigan tomorrow at Michigan.
Lansing or Ann Arbor?
Ann Arbor.
Okay.
I always get those mixed up.
Do we think Sharon Moore will be there?
I think he's probably wearing a Michigan State hat. Maybe with some sunglasses.
Free Sharon Moore.
I have no love for Michigan State in any way whatsoever, but I'd like to see them. I just want more games with Jeremy Fears.
Yeah. Who's that? And then you got the one kid that is just a dunking machine.
Cohen Carr.
Woo! That boy's cold-blooded.
They had him in like the Naismith Player of the Year conversation preseason, and he's averaging like 9 points a game.
Well, he's averaging like at 11, but still. But high riser, high flyer.
He's going to be a Mac McClung. He's going to be in the dunk contest every year as a G Leaguer.
He should be. He absolutely should. Averaging almost, Mac's averaging almost 30 in the G League.
He's going crazy. All right, in the Midwest, we've got Michigan, Illinois, who I think is going to go very far.
Yeah.
Iowa State, Miami, Ohio.
As a 4
in the
seed?
Sweet 16. No, just making the Sweet 16.
Oh. Man, I haven't heard my Jayhawks
Miami,
mentioned
Ohio is an interesting
Their
case.
last two games
this
been
whole,
rough.
controversy around them and like, what was it? What's his name? Our guy.
Bruce Pearl
saying
crapping
that,
all over him.
I was like, what? Look, I get it. The conference sucks and all that. They're undefeated in NCAA Division I college basketball.
You still got.
Stop the drama.
Even if did they win the whole? Was it the whole MAC conference they won last night, or do they still have to play again?
No,
one more
I think
game?
they still play again, right?
Yeah.
No. It's done.
They don't have a tournament?
Conference tournament. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, that's already done.
I know.
Yeah, last night was their last game. They played last night.
Some people were saying if they didn't go undefeated and didn't win the MAC, that they weren't going to make the dance.
That was Bruce Pearl.
Yeah, that's insane.
Stop.
That seems a little nutty.
And finally, in the South, we've got UConn, Houston, and I promise I didn't tell them to add this team, Texas Tech, and Nebraska.
So I got my Jayhawks not even making the Sweet 16 is what you're telling me.
Now, I will say...
you and I both thought both our teams are going to be gone before the Sweet 16 anyway.
I mean, I don't need AI agreeing with me. It's one thing if we say it. It's like we can say that our teams are, but when other people say it, no. How dare you?
In my previous prompt, they had Kentucky and Kansas under the disruptors category.
Yeah. Yep, that goes along with what we were saying earlier.
Fred and Will, the disruptors.
That's right. Look, I said it before when it came to Tech, that they are just, to play the way that they have played since they lost JT Toppin, the way that they've had, other guys step their play up, it goes to show you a couple things. One, the resilience of those players, and then two, how well they're coached. Mm-hmm. So absolutely second. I will be stunned if the Raiders are not, guns up, baby.
Yeah, I think Grant McCaslin should absolutely be in the running for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, no.
They're probably not going to finish as a top 10 team because they did lose to TCU the other night, and they got BYU on the road today, which is going to be really tough. But
shout out to TCU.
I know.
Yeah,
I crapped all over them last week, and
then they went into Lubbock and won.
They sure did. I did not have that as a dub for them. So
it wasn't really a close game either. They kind of took it to them in the second half. So
interesting teams that are not in there. By the way, Nebraska, I heard that little slip in there. They were one of the undefeated teams for a big part of the season. Arkansas, I think we were talking about this during the break, and because they're playing right now, they're in overtime in Columbia, Missouri, down 1. They are a team, a classic Cal team. They can drop 100 on you or not show up at all. So I would classify them as a disruptor too. Did you have Alabama in there?
I did.
Okay.
They were in the East region, the first one with Duke, St. John's, and Florida.
I honestly cannot say that I have watched much of Illinois this year.
Keaton Wagler.
They're very good. They're very.
They have so many. Was a dog.
They have so many different guys on their team that can score. Their offense is so balanced, and then they've got the Ivisic brothers who are both 7'2". So one guy gets in foul trouble, the little brother comes in, and their post defense is really good. I think both dudes average 2 blocks a game. So, and if Keaton Wagler can just not have a game like he had against Purdue, where he shot 1 of 17 for like 3 points, they're gonna be pretty set. So that'll be a fun team to keep your eye on.
Alabama is the same that they have been the last few years. They can run. They can score, but all of a sudden their defense can be absolutely atrocious. How in the world do you give up 98 points to Georgia? I understand that it's whomever they play, they're going to score a lot of points because there's so many possessions, but my goodness, that's ridiculous.
I saw something today, going back on the Arkansas thing. There was apparently a Twitter page called Mavs Season is reporting that the Mavs are reportedly very high on Darius Acuff.
Yeah,
and
tell me a team who
taking him
isn't.
at number 1.
Yeah, I could see it.
Dude had 49 in a game.
He's
the SEC.
incredible. He is one of the better guards in college basketball of the last decade. And he's arguably one of the best guards that Cal has ever coached. And he has coached a lot of good ones. I mean, we're talking Derrick Rose, John Wall, Acuff. He's as good as any of those, if not better. He's incredible.
All right, moving on to the Elite Eight, and here's our matchup.
By the way, is it guns out or guns up? Because somebody said
guns out. I said guns up.
Yeah, he said guns up.
Okay, so 214, you're the dumbass. He said guns out, dumbass, not guns up.
Wow. Everybody point and laugh at that guy.
Okay. Laughing at you, 214. It looks like you're the dumbass.
Yep, got him.
Guns up, baby.
Moving on to the Elite Eight. So in the East, we've got Duke versus Illinois. That's a 1-2 matchup according to this exercise. And they've got Duke winning that one. They've got Duke winning that one. And it just says Cameron Boozer's a nightmare for Illinois' interior defense, which is not inaccurate. In the West,
I don't know who outside of Arizona is going to be able to score enough on the Duke defense. Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Alabama maybe, just because they can score so much, but they're going to let Duke score 115 on them.
Yeah,
with the pace they play at. In the West, we've got Arizona versus Gonzaga. This is a 1-3. They've got Arizona winning this one
by 30.
Yeah. It says Tommy Lloyd's familiarity with Gonzaga gives Arizona the schematic edge in a high-scoring track meet. That checks.
No, they're not. Bulldogs have no shot.
No.
In that.
In the Midwest, we've got Michigan versus Houston. This is a 1-2. They've got Houston winning this one. And it says, while Michigan has the better offense, Kelvin Sampson's defense is designed to suffocate momentum-heavy teams. I would absolutely characterize Michigan as a momentum-heavy team.
Yeah, I could see it. Houston's been a little shaky for me. I mean, they're shaky for anybody. I mean, they just came off of, 3 losses, 3 consecutive, and then back-to-back wins over Colorado and somebody else. So
I think they just beat Oklahoma State by only 5.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State's arguably one of the worst teams in the conference.
Yeah.
Last but not least, in the South, they've got UConn playing against Nebraska. A 1-3 matchup. Says they got UConn winning. It says Nebraska's historic run ends here. Dan Hurley's Huskies have too much experience in deep tournament play. 100% agree with that. So Florida in here.
Yeah. Really?
No Florida in here.
Who did they have Florida losing to?
They had Florida losing to St. John. No, they had Florida losing to Alabama.
No.
Florida losing to Alabama.
How did that matchup go this year? Yeah, I don't see that at all. Florida's they've been like Duke the last month, and I know Duke had the loss to North Carolina, but in every other game they haven't really been close. They just haven't.
Yeah.
So, and Florida just beat Alabama a few weeks ago by 23 points.
Another big bummer in the ACC. I had North Carolina as an Elite Eight team before I heard the Caleb Wilson news.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's
really,
one of the best
really
guards
sad.
in the country.
Now you've got two potential, and I think
so.
Caleb,
Gemini has, at least from where I was, on the top 3 teams in the country: Duke, Arizona, and Florida. Only 2 of them making it to the Final Four.
Yep, they've got Duke, Arizona, UConn, and Houston in the Final Four. So they have a 1-1 and a 1-2 matchup in this projection. So the first one is Duke versus Arizona. They said they're taking Duke. It says Arizona is incredible at home out west, but Duke's roster is essentially an NBA light squad.
Man, that would be really disappointing to have that be a Final Four game and not a championship game. For me, at least.
But the next one, they've got UConn beating Houston. So you'd rather have Duke versus Arizona over Duke versus UConn?
Look, if I've got Duke playing UConn in the championship game, I couldn't hate that championship game more.
What,
I
Duke,
absolutely hate both of those teams. Both of those programs, I should say. I don't hate the teams. Those programs, I can't stand them.
Arkansas wins 80-84. Final in overtime.
Man.
Just an SEC slobber knocker.
No doubt.
Just an SEC slobber knocker.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Fred's going to slowly deconstruct here over Bill Self and the 3-point lead for Kansas at Fog Allen.
I just hope
Kansas State.
that everybody's done shopping themselves until after the season. That's all I want.
You like the red uniforms?
I'm not crazy about the
I
red
like them.
uniforms. I don't hate the red uniforms, but I'm an old school blue.
I
And for those of us
appreciate
that
the
know-
fact that they don't change. Well, the changes are minimal. I mean, I think our uniforms are pretty cool, but I don't like how we change them so much. I just want them to be, when you have a
Got to.
traditional program, just be the traditional uniform.
Especially if you're like a blue blood. Like,
Yeah.
you need that.
I don't mind an alternate uniform from time to time. I mean, but look.
Which is pretty much what you're going with today.
I hate the fact that we're an Adidas school.
I do too.
I
man.
would as
too.
well. Oh, man. If we were
Nike's
Adidas,
so much
that
better.
would piss me off.
Dude, Nike gear.
Or Jordan.
Rumor has it, and again, I've tried to fight. Oh, look who's here! The khackiest of the khaki Kevin Walker,
showing up 21 minutes before first pitch.
Oh my! I'll tell you what, that's dedication right there. That's dedication right there, huh? Khaki Kevin Walker, everybody's favorite khaki. Allegedly, the rumor was that had Roy Williams not left Kansas, we were going to become a Jordan school.
Really? Wow.
That hurts.
Well, they're
That
tight.
hurts. That
They
hurts.
are
That hurts
tight.
my soul to hear such a thing.
Speaking of college sports, they're apparently being saved. We'll have that for you next.
You follow here, Tolos, and I am a proud CertaPro Painters customer because they really are the best in the business. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in our community. And you can ask about their spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th. And now's the time to complete that painting project you've been putting off. CertaPro Painters provides a free estimate quickly and at the right price. CertaPro Painters knows how important your home is to you, and now is the time to capitalize. Schedule your free estimate online, CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, CertaPro.com.
Good news. Frontier is joining Verizon, making it easier than ever to connect and save at home and on the go. And for a limited time, Frontier customers who switch to a Verizon mobile plan can get our best price ever. 2 mobile lines for just $50 per month. Visit Verizon.com/Welcome Frontier to learn more. Frontier and Verizon. Better together. $55 per line for 2 lines. Less $60 monthly promo credits apply to account over 36 months. In times of congestion, your data may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Cowboys fans, the NFL offseason is heating up. Before summer temperatures come on with a full blitz, schedule a first-time $59 AC tune-up and professional cleaning with on-time experts. Proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Here's the truth. Dirt, dust, and debris are the #1 killers of air conditioners. Most companies do a quickie system check, but at the On-Time Experts, we remove all that harmful buildup. Go to theontimeexperts.com and schedule your $59 tune-up today. The On-Time Experts, a proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
Hi, it's Eric Thomason from Blue Nail Roofing. We've been serving North Texas homeowners for decades. And with every one of our customers, our job isn't complete until you're satisfied. Here's what several of our clients have said about Blue Nail.
I thought that they were extremely detail-oriented.
They went back to the insurance company and worked with them and got them to pay for doing the extra stuff that had to be done.
Blue Nail personnel worked with the adjuster and did the work is superb.
I recommend them to anybody.
We had real good communication with them. I did not have to hunt them down. They usually came hunting for us to see what needed to be done.
I am totally pleased with what they did.
If you have storm damage, call Blue Nail Roofing today for a free, no obligation inspection of your property. Call 855-255-1975. That's 855-255-1975 or online at bluenailroofing.com. Wind or hail, call Blue Nail.
The BMF Championship, truly the stuff of legends to let the world know who's the baddest mother.
That's a real warrior. That's a BMF.
Tonight on Paramount Plus.
Here we go.
Two legends.
Two of the most exciting men to ever fight will meet again. I'm right here. Let's go.
One legacy.
The famed BMF belt is on the line.
Legends never die.
Max Holloway, Charles Oliveira.
Welcome to the history books.
For the BMF title tonight at 9 on Paramount Plus.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
I'm worth more.
Am I worth more? Yeah.
I'm worth a whole lot more.
You know what? You're right. At GiveMeTheVin.com, you are worth more, and your car's worth more. And we want to pay more at GiveMeTheVin, because good cars are worth more, and so are you. For top price, trust, and ease of transaction, GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer. And remember, if we don't beat a deal from Carvana or CarMax, we'll pay you $100.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Every shift matters. Every shot counts. Youngblood, starring Ashton James and Blair Underwood, is a gripping hockey drama about heart, grit, and second chances. When the game is on the line, you take your shot. Don't miss Youngblood. Only in theaters March 6th. Tickets on sale now.
If you're in the market to upgrade your vehicle, get to Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine. #1 Chevy dealership in the world 3 years straight. They've got more new Chevys than anyone, all priced to sell. Silverados, Tahoes, Blazers, Malibus, Equinox, and more. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com. This is Texas. This is Classic Chevrolet. Together, let's drive, relax, and enjoy the difference. Based on new Chevy registrations 2023 through 2025.
The man who can really save college sports has spoken. It is not the president. We're going to close things up here. Old guy radio, white guy radio, both work.
Speak for yourself, bro. Speak for yourself. I am not an old guy, all right, as I struggle to get out of this chair. I am not an old guy. Let me make that clear. Although I feel
45
like
tomorrow for Big
I think
Fred
I did
D.
do something to my pectoral muscle, not going to lie. When you're throwing around the crazy weight like I do, it's I don't know what I did to it.
Stuff happens.
Hey.
I got big news for Fred Davis.
Big news!
Huge. Bigly. Before we get into the president and his meeting yesterday. Will Chambers, Fred Davis here with you, Jacob Ray, with just tremendous job.
Shout out to the 559. Me and him were going at it. Now we're friends. We kumbaya'd. Okay, that's what I do. That's what I do.
Bringing people together.
I come at people. I'm a very abrasive guy. They come at me. I call them out. They call me out. But you know what? I go back and forth with them on text message, and I try to keep it cordial. All right, I try to keep it cordial.
Yeah.
They'll call me a bitch. They'll call me a douchebag. I come back at them. We have, and then ultimately we kumbaya at the end, and that's the way it should be. Just old-fashioned. Let's talk a little ish to each other, and let's be friends. My man's trying to stay sober, so I appreciate anybody fighting the good fight. Whether you're trying to stay off alcohol or the Oski Woski Peasky Wheesky. Godspeed.
There you go. By the way, we're inching closer to Rangers-Giants here today, top of the hour. But the Chiefs, talk about coming together. They have done so with their long snapper, James Winchester.
Oh, wow.
A 1 year, $1.75 million, fully guaranteed deal. So there you go. Highest paid long snapper
in the NFL now.
Yeah.
I think the previous guy was for the Bills at 1.65, actually. So
Okay.
were you on the
Breaking
show
the
when we
bank.
talked about that? Me and Blake literally just did a segment the other day that it just kind of morphed into it where we talked about the highest paid long snappers in the NFL.
That was me.
That was you?
That was me.
Okay, there you go.
That was a riveting segment.
I mean, hey, you know what? It was organic.
Remember, I
Just gone
said
down
a
the,
long
spoke
snapper
track
was what,
rabbit
6'5",
hole?
270?
You did say that. You did say that.
That's huge. Just huge. By the way, I got one stone taken care of.
You had a kidney stone?
No.
Oh.
I have.
It hurt.
I have. Have you had one?
No, but I've heard stories.
Yeah.
I've heard them things ain't nothing to play. Like Wu-Tang, ain't nothing to play with.
Yeah. Not good. Not good. Yeah, because Arkansas beating Missouri now. I need Vandy to beat Tennessee. We'll just get smoked by Florida, so it doesn't matter. But yesterday, the president and Marco Rubio must do. Is he just? I don't know.
He's the
Is he
busiest man in the world right now.
Is he like the president's
lapdog? I mean, he
Seriously.
does anything you need. Marco Rubio
is there to do it.
I got you.
He's there. We got stuff going on in Iran and Israel and everywhere else in the region.
College sports. What? Rubio?
Yep.
What?
All right.
I'm here.
But Nick Saban has spoken. And I have a hard time disagreeing with any of this, except for the one part, which in needing the president and Congress's leadership on this. It might be true. You might need it a little bit. But this is what Nick Saban had to say at the meeting. I think we need to come up with a system, and we obviously have to do with the president's leadership and also Congress, probably, whether it's antitrust legislation or whatever it is, to allow student athletes in all sports, including women's and Olympic sports, to enhance their quality of life while going to college, but still provide opportunity to advance themselves beyond their athletic career, which is what the philosophy of college athletics and getting a college education has always been about. And how much does anybody talk about getting an education anymore? Nobody talks about it at all, which is the most important thing of any of these student athletes can do in terms of enhancing the future. End of quote. All right. I'm going to try to be as clear as I can in saying this, because anytime you talk about this, somebody's going to be like, well, it doesn't matter anymore, or it doesn't matter. You know, they're being paid. They're not really student athletes. The one thing that I think we do need to harken back to is the fact that, yes, they should get NIL. Yes, I think they should have the ability to transfer, not transfer 5 times in 4 years.
I don't disagree with that.
But also, I think the guardrail that they could put in this is making sure that they are completing a full year of education wherever they go, and make it so that no matter what money they're making elsewhere, that they are still a, quote, student athlete. As long as they put a bit of focus on that in any kind of rules or legislation, any part of that, if that is a cornerstone of it, it's going to help with a ton of these problems, I feel like.
You need I think the financial guardrails are vital to both college football and basketball. I'd love to see some sort of tampering period, kind of like what we see with football and basketball as well. Because, I mean, let's be real, the NFL and the NBA are setting and I don't mean this in a negative way, but because that's what college sports has become. But you're going to need to kind of model it, at least from a financial aspect, after both those sports. And
having it being done right now, which is what you've been complaining about, and rightfully so, that you got some of your players at your school right now that are, flirting with other teams in the, at the end of a season.
Well, there's that, and look, allegedly Badunga's been shopping his services around for the last 2 weeks, which is not great if you're a Jayhawk fan trying to make a run here at the end of March. But not to mention, and I heard a college player say something the other day where he goes, look, I made $60,000 in the first year of NIL. And he goes, you couldn't tell me anything on campus. Like, he goes, I was probably an a-hole, but you couldn't tell me anything. He goes, I can't imagine what these guys getting $2-3 million are doing. And, we hear about, from the Penny Hardaways of the world talking about, you got guys who, once they get paid, they're just, he goes, when we were coming up, you were playing hard. Now, look, let's not pretend like
they weren't getting paid.
They weren't getting paid too. Was it to the extent the guys now are?
Right.
No. Okay. That's why you were able to give Reggie Bush his Heisman Trophy back. Okay, because nothing was happening then that isn't happening now. But you wonder for some of these guys who probably aren't. I mean, AJ Storr's probably not going to go to the NBA. All right, he's probably made $4 or $5 million in the last 3 or 4 years. Does he care? I don't know. I highly doubt it. All right, so if you got a guy making $250,000, $300,000, whatever it is, you just wonder how are you able to how do we find the motivation and how do we get these guys from a college perspective to care and to try? And I don't know, maybe that's a whole other conversation for another time. But I just feel like something needs to give when it comes to the way this money is done, and there's got to be ways to say, okay, if you don't fulfill the contract, guess what? You can get cut.
Yeah,
that's what happens in the NFL and the NBA.
Absolutely. Cody Campbell also spoke in this. So
that's your money man, right? Look at Jake. That's the most awake he's looked the whole show. What? Somebody say what? Cody Campbell? Huh?
I tell you what, and he's right in here. This is the biggest worry that I have of it being so much agenda driven, and then whether or not this is going to become partisan. We all hope that everything is ultimately bipartisan, but that's never the case. Cody Campbell had to say many of the agendas in this room and outside this room are going to become impossible. And this is what I really liked and what he had to say. The reality is nobody's going to get everything. If we're going to come to a solution on this, we have to find a place where we're all equally unhappy, just like any other business deal.
Yeah. No, I mean, something's got to give. I think it will eventually. I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen this offseason, but with the way... I mean, we thought that with the House rule, with the House settlement, that it would bring money down, but in fact, all it's done is exploded that much more. And I don't know how. I mean, we're starting to see. I mean, you got Rutgers running like what, a $75 million deficit or something like that. I mean, this is. I don't see how it's going to get any better either.
I don't either.
So.
Yeah, I mean,
gotta give.
So many of these athletic programs run on deficits unless you're Ohio State or Alabama. I mean, there's only a handful, really like 15 or so programs that actually operate in the black. So. There you go. All the best. All right. Maiden voyage of White Guy Radio here on your Saturdays. So get used to it. Ish, 9, 10 o'clock, depending on when Rangers games start. But they take on the Giants here in just a matter of moments. World Baseball Classic ongoing as well. And it's a great day, as we set up for a week away from Selection Sunday. So next Saturday, we'll have that all for you. Rangers baseball, that's what's coming next here on 105.3 The Fan.
Sean and RJ, the KNC.